All right, everybody, welcome to the game. The Great American Experience happens once again. And hey, Ranger, what's up, Bumpers? It's raining. There's water falling from the sky. Can't go outside yet. He wants to go outside, but he doesn't like to get wet, so he's gonna be making me get up. Yeah, I know, I know. Okay, we need to go outside, huh? Oh, Bumpers. All right. No, that's not. Hold on. No, not yet. You hear it? It's raining. It's still raining. There's still water falling from the sky. Lay down. Lay down. Good boy. All right. So I'm the Wizard of Oz, and this is the game and the Great American Experience. So, hey, there's Susan. Let me get the link out here to everybody. Good deal. Susan, what's happening? It's already passed. Yeah, it already went past us. Who's old Wolvers? There's my baby. There's my big old puppers. Oh, I know you want to go outside. Yes, I know. I know. Just give it. Radar says it's going to be about 20 minutes. Yeah, by 20 minutes. You can lay down for just a little while longer. Yes, I know. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit before we go outside. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second here. Go ahead and grab the link, guys. Come on in. Oh, okay. Watch out. No, you're right, puppies. I don't know what the heck that is. But yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got a bunch of anxious puppies. Yeah, there was a tornado that came through. Um, Nobody I know got hurt that I know of, and it did some pretty good damage out in St. Charles County, just out west of St. Louis. And it's already past us now. Hey, Valentine, welcome in. No, no, we didn't see any damage or anything, but just high winds here. But that's normal. We don't get tornadoes up here on the plateau. Um, it usually happens in north of us once you get off the plateau into the valley, into the big valleys. Yep, I know. I know, Prince. Okay, it's raining outside. I'll be right back.
What's up, folks?
It doesn't cry like that often. Hey, what's up, canoes? Welcome. Thank you. Welcome in.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah, it's kind of raining outside, and it's been a while. So Prince was whining. He needed to go potty. So they're outside getting potty. I'm gonna have to check them here real quick and make sure to get them back inside. Oh man, yeah, we had, like I said, we had tornado come through, just north of us, obviously, and this is hitting around the Missouri River, um, but it didn't go into the populated areas. It stayed real close to the river, down in the valley. Yeah. It's just here in Missouri, Illinois area right now, Susan. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been kind of an interesting day. It's warm as heck out there. It's like 65, 66 degrees. What about you, Canoes?
It is. Let me check here real quick. Currently, would help if I turned the Wi-Fi on the phone.
Right?
53 feels like 42. Or no, 53 feels like 52. Warmer
Oh,
than
okay.
I. Yeah, it was like when I got up for work today, it was 40, and it just very slowly warmed up throughout the day. And then
Yeah, you gotta.
it started very light rain about maybe an hour and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's been raining all day here on and off. So.
What's up, Carpenter? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, there's a chance of rain overnight throughout the night, but as the as the weather systems approach me, they tend to break up. So we might hardly get nothing, which is what I'm hoping for. Because I got to get out and blow leaves this weekend. Well, it is that time, folks. Load up. Yeah, about maybe 10 days ago, we had a little bit of snow. It just lasted overnight and melted, as soon as the sun came up. Excuse me. Hey, Diesel. A deer bitch raid. What up, bitch? Jeez. Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, I was just watching the tornado information.
Mhm.
Kentucky, Monette, Kentucky.
Yeah. Yep.
It was spotted in southeast Missouri too.
Hey, we got the Raiders in. What's up, Diesel? Dear Butch. Hey, Ghost. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Dear Butch, your device does not want to connect. Drop out, refresh, and try again.
Hi, Susan. Dear Butch, how you doing? Good stream tonight.
Yeah. Puerto Rico Gringo. Hey, what's happening, bud?
¿Qué pasa, hombre?
Hey, Puerto Rico Gringo, welcome.
Yeah, we won't know that till morning, most likely, Susan. It avoided most of the heavily populated areas, but we won't know damage reports till morning, most likely.
Welcome, Honeycomb. Evie.
Hey, honey. Oh, man. We got one more band of storms coming through. And, actually, it's almost past us now.
Christmas is inching closer.
Blah.
I know. I can't wait.
Well, apparently he got the documents, Judicial Watch, on gain of function stuff. Fauci's in the hot seat. Bill Gates is in the hot seat. It's not looking good for either one of them. Basically, it shows how much fraud that Fauci was involved in fraudulently getting money for gain of function. Fauci fraud. Fraudy Fauci. But hey. Carpenter Patriots here.
Fire in a bowl.
Yeah, sorry about that. Ranger decided he didn't want to come in because it's not raining that bad.
He's a big boy. A little bit of pitter patter ain't gonna hurt him.
Well, usually it starts sprinkling and he's begging to come inside. Oh, man.
So, tornado warnings up there in Ohio too, I guess.
No, I haven't heard nothing.
Yeah, most of the storm stuff is just now going into Illinois.
Let me look at the official outlook.
Yeah, go ahead and put her up.
No, I ain't got any no watches or anything around me. Let's see.
Say that it's a big one.
That's moving fast, too. Around midnight, it's going to be around Apex, a little after midnight.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 500 miles. Just a matter of a couple hours.
It's a really big and dangerous one.
Looks like it's going to go north of Indianapolis, though. Wow, it's moving fast. Wow.
Yeah, Apex is right on the line of the warnings outline.
Looks like Louisville's going to get hit pretty hard here, too, around midnight. Yeah. Good Lord, Lord, Lord. But yeah. So, anything crazy in the news today?
Not really.
No.
Just what I was saying about Judicial Watch and Fauci and all that.
Yeah, what was that? I was brushing by. I heard that.
It's hard for me to parrot what I saw, but because I don't understand a lot of the language in there, you know, it's in legalese.
Right.
But he's basically, it's about the gain of function, about the connection with Fauci and the Wuhan labs and Bill Gates and the amount of money they were defrauding the United States that we were funding this research. And they sued and got the documents. Judicial Watch did. They've got all the documents. It's all going to come out. The snakes are coming out of the ground.
Nice. Nice. Honeycomb, I'm on the northern edge of the Ozark Plateau in southern Missouri, about 80 miles southwest of St. Louis. So, I still think they should, give him the 5 years for lying to Congress.
Well,
He needs to take his 5.
I think all that money that we used to fund this, no, the implications are huge on this. I'm just not very good at conveying it. But the implications are huge. It's not looking good for Fauci at all. My problem is I'm not on a computer. I'm on a phone, and if I was on a computer, I could probably go into the site and talk while I'm reading it.
Right.
But I can't do that. I would just say, look up Judicial Watch, and you'll find it in there. They sued and got the documents, and they know that it was engineered, manufactured from the SARS virus, and it's official. Their association with the WHO and all of that, what they were trying to do is they were intentionally trying to give, well, I'm putting it in my own words, but they were trying to give China a bigger voice to be, for us to adhere to. That's kind of how the wordage goes. They're trying to give China a bigger voice, more control globally to make them more dominant, in the using medical things to give them more power. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to basically override government's abilities to govern their own people. And it's coming out of their own mouths saying that. And it's very damning. And I think people need to wake up to this.
Right.
I hope everybody goes into Judicial Watch's website and tries to find this information so you'll know exactly what the deal is instead of just hearing it secondhand from me. Because like I say, I don't have the ability to go on the screen and read it word for word.
And being on a phone, it's really hard to do links and stuff like that. So
I can't do that. If I close out this screen, I could do that and stay connected, but you can't hear me and I can't hear you. I just can't close out the screen and read it. I wish I could. Because I've already tried that and it didn't work. Just go to Judicial Watch. Don't take my word for it. And see what Tom Fitton, see what he's saying about it, because it's today's information, it's today's news. And I think it's probably probably some of the most important news that's come out in quite a long time. Because it's affecting everything. It's affecting the world economy. It's affecting us locally, everywhere. The mask mandates, all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, needs to be exposed. This is a China operation.
Yeah.
And they've got
Don't trust China.
China asshole. Yeah, have them do the follow thing, and you'll know when we come up and how to get back to us. Pleasure having you back. And the dogs are right here on the puppies are in here. Ranger wouldn't come inside. He wanted to chase more cars. Oh, and I'm delivering one of the puppies tomorrow to my my oldest godson's daughter, my grandchild, Kira. Yep, I'm gonna take her a puppy tomorrow. They're all so excited.
So that's all the news I know. I don't know if it was beneficial to anybody.
Yeah, that was update. Thank you.
It is BS. It is a bunch of BS.
But yeah, it's
We had snow. We've got snow on the ground. We've got ice. It's 29 degrees right now where I live.
oh yeah, 29. Yeah. I found one here. David Perdue joins the lawsuit challenging the 2020 Georgia election. Yeah.
And I tried to get into Parlor, and it's hard to get into, just like it always was. Tried downloading the app. The app's really hard to figure out how to download it, and I did it.
I actually went last night for just a couple of minutes over to Ben's site. Sense
really?
Wars, Lobby Friends, what he calls it now.
Right.
It's a joke. There's only like maybe 4 or 5 active people on there. That's it.
Right. Well, unfortunately, he has a way of getting pissed off at everybody every once in a while, clearing the house. Yeah. But yeah, I wish him luck, But I'm glad he's not giving up, though. That's at least he's got to, stick to it.
Well, he did give up for a while, didn't he? And started it back up again, apparently.
Right. Yeah, Susan, it's called paper ballots. It's called paper ballots and voter ID.
Actually, the new way to vote is the old way.
Mm-hmm.
But that was fallible, too, because Johnson was bragging about stuff in the ballot boxes.
Well, there's an easy way around that. What they did in Iraq when they held the first, free elections in Iraq, when we deposed Saddam Hussein. You vote once. Immediately after you vote, your right index finger gets completely covered in indelible black ink, so that they know there's no way to get off. It stays on your hand for like a month, so you can tell who voted.
Well,
and it worked.
Sounds like a good idea.
I thought it was a thumb.
I thought it was the index finger, but it was a finger.
A finger. Yeah. Prove who you are. Current address. Voter ID.
I think they should put the ink spot on your nose.
On your nose, not a nose.
Right on the tip of your nose. Just to be different from Iraq.
But no, that's kind of on the nose. What? Don't vote with your nose.
So everybody's walking around with a black nose for about a month. That way you can't cover it up with gloves or something. Oh, yeah, and masks should be banned for voting.
Right.
So, well, I mean, if you're going to show voter ID,
right?
Yeah, sir, you're going to have to remove your mask so we can check your ID, your photo ID. That's if we do it with IDs. And then everybody's got a state ID number, from their driver's license or their state ID, and the number gets entered into the database, recorded, so that if there's a duplicate of that number, people will know. I think that's a little better than the ink finger thing, but
Oh, here's one I didn't hear about today. United Kingdom High Court approves U.S. government's legal bid to extradite Julian Assange. That's fucked up.
So they started the proceedings or something?
Well, they approved, the U.S.'s bid to extradite. So I'm sure there'll be other, functionary processes to go before it happens, but they okayed it apparently.
Ooh, here's some stuff on the front there. Florida slashes federal aid to students, or for federal aid to schools with mask mandates, defying Biden warning. Yeah. Holy cow.
I don't even want to look at the fucking news. It's Friday. We need to chill out, smoke some weed.
That fire in the motherfucking boat. That's it. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need a fire in the boat. Kick that. Now. That's what we're talking about. Brought to you by Baby Biscuit Farms.
.com.
For all your seed needs, that's the man to see. Oh. Oh.
So I tried something today that I've never had in my life before, and I was pleasantly surprised. I've never had barbecue chicken pizza before.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
One of the kids at work picked some up from the shop next door, along with a whole bunch of other stuff to take home across the street for his family's dinner. He's like, "Yeah, man, try a piece of this if you want." Like, I've never had it before. He's like, "Yeah, you'll probably like it." And sure enough, yeah, it was good. The sauce was not overpowering, and it wasn't like overflowing with the sauce. It was just enough there to give it a good flavor. And amazingly, it didn't give me heartburn, so that's a plus. Yeah, I told him and his sister that, yeah, it was good. I'll try it. I said I wasn't going to eat the food from there anymore because the last couple of times I got in their food, it made me sick. He's like, "Well, it all depends on who's making the food." Like, well, that's special. He's telling me that, like, for the last year or so, like, they're cut back on costs. They're they're using food that they shouldn't, like they let it run past expiration for like their toppings and stuff. Like the quality's definitely gone downhill the last few years.
Right.
So yeah, last 3 times that I ordered food from them, I ended up throwing it up. Oh. No, it's not acid reflux, Susan. It's like funky, vegetables that shouldn't be used on pizza, and probably the same with the meats and cheeses.
Oh, yeah.
They
Right.
told me that on more than one occasion when the guy was working there, like they would pull out their containers of cheese and open it up and find mold on the top, and they would just scoop it out, put the moldy shit in the trash, and then keep using what was below it. It's like, no, you can't do that. Yeah, since I quit eating there, I started checking out all the other local pizza places that'll deliver to my area. I found one the next town over that delivers to my house, and they're actually open kind of late, so I can still order something after I get home from work, and it's very, very good. Called Sambino's. They make absolutely huge sandwiches. Like they got this Italian burger sub, like literally a large will feed 4 people.
Oh,
or,
wow.
Or one person for like 3 days. It's that big. I tried the pizza that I tried from them a couple weeks ago. It was double cheese, double pepperoni. Oh, it was delicious. Oh, I got something for Wiz.
Ooh, what's that? What's that? What's that?
I'll throw it up in the private chat because you
Okay,
were asking about this recently.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
it's not the huge one for doing exo-atmospheric shit, but it's along the same lines.
And they've got the new shuttles on there. Oh, wow. The new space fighters.
Yeah. It makes me wonder with all this shit that they're coming up with along those lines, it's like whatever happened to that treaty that we signed that basically de-weaponized outer space. It's like
Right.
us and Russia and everybody else signed it back like in the 50s or something, and no one's ever done anything to stop anybody from doing anything in outer space. The fucking Russians, like on their little their Soyuz,
Right.
and the I don't know if they had them on Mir, but like on some of the Soyuz missions, they had big ass cannons on the one end of them, like big 39 millimeter like twin barreled auto cannons for like something that you'd see like on the ground for anti-air defense. They had one mounted on the bottom of the Soyuz.
Well,
Just in case the imperious pigs in the United States, just try to shoot our satellites down.
right. But I do like that they got the new shuttle on there.
Yeah, with all the private companies that are getting involved with, aerospace and everything, they're going to put fucking NASA out of business.
Oh, yeah. And that straddle launch, I think that is the big one. I think that is the big one, dude.
I just looked at the headline. I haven't read the article yet.
Yeah, straddle launch second flight, the one that happened in Mojave, April 29th.
Oh, yeah, I guess that sounds right, yeah.
The straddle launch was crafting hypersonic vehicles before its official pivot to high-speed testing. That's just crazy. Yeah, Tesla thinks they're going to be putting these electric trucks out. Who knows? Wow. That's crazy.
Hey, it's Kay. What's
What?
up, girl?
Hey, what's up, Kay? All right, save that. Sorry, I just got tied up in that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. Where'd Ghost? Come back, Bill.
Yeah,
Come up,
phone
Kay.
call.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He's in chat still.
Yeah, come on in, Kay. Grab a link. You know what? Just noticed. Hi, Spy. What's up, man?
I'm back. I got a call and it bumped me off.
Hey, here comes Apex. Maybe. Oh
Yes.
my goodness, this stinky fucking.
Oh yeah, today was his mushroom day.
Is that why that thing's going circle to circle? Circle.
Yep, he was supposed to have be on mushrooms today. That's what you should have, mushroom day. Official mushroom day.
Yeah, me too.
Now, let's put it this way. I would be up for it if the only time I would do it would be if I was on like vacation or if I didn't have to go to work for a couple of days afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
It didn't last that long on me.
Well, psychedelics, I'm very careful with them.
I didn't even have a psychedelic experience. All I did is laughed.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried them a few times, but that was like eating just whole shrooms. What Apex does, like he gets the concentrated, powdered version, that's all dried up and everything. Apparently it's more potent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll cure my autism.
No.
It's not going to fucking load on my end.
No, you need counseling.
Oh, wait.
Maxine. Oh, it's K. It's not Apex.
Hi, Kay.
Hi. How are you guys?
We're doing.
At least we're not mildewing.
Right. I'm dodging tornadoes
Yeah,
in the
that's
land
good.
of Oz.
Dude, that's the worst thing in the world. Like when you get out of a shower and like somebody left the towels in the washer too long or something. And you dry yourself off and you have like fucking mildewy smell. Oh. I picked up a rag the other day, like down the counter, and it smelled like mildew. It's like one of the worst smells in the world to me.
Yep.
Oh, so how's everybody doing?
You've got a pool table in your kitchen. That's
Hey.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince him to get because he has to buy a new slate for it anyway. Because turns out, when he bought this, the slate had been broken and secretly replaced. It's still like usable, but considering he does like professional shit, whatever, pool tournaments or whatever the fuck. He wants actual slate. So I swear, men should never load the dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
Dishwashers
What's a dishwasher?
are pretty much for rinsing. It's for rinsing and drying, damn it. It's not washing shit.
Yeah.
Especially your pants.
I haven't had a dishwasher machine in 30 years. I wash all my shit by hand.
I haven't had a dishwasher in 3 years.
I literally use it, like I said, just to pretty much rinse it or dry it. Half the time I rinse them and I don't even run it.
My last
I just use
dishwasher
it as a drying rack.
left when I got a divorce.
I have a dishwasher. I eat off a paper plate.
Paper plates are wonderful.
And plastic spoons.
Nah, I still wash. I eat off of.
Yeah. I got my tooth pulled today.
Did you?
I was going to do it my damn self if it didn't happen. So
Oh, I didn't know you was that hardcore.
I feel so much better now. I was about to pull some Castaway type stuff. I had it.
He likes washing dishes now.
So is Wiz still in here? Because it's just showing me a circle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Liz is
here.
We're all here.
Can you hear me?
Damn.
The gang's all here.
Maybe I should
Let me refresh.
refresh.
I think it's on K's end.
All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I like your emojicon.
It wasn't loading at all for me. Yeah. If you go to, I think it's called Lenny Face Generators. They have a bunch of the gun ones.
I want those kind.
Oops.
Yeah,
Hey,
they're
there
really
I
cool.
am.
Let me see. I wonder if I put up. What's the next? Oh, whoa. Oh. He's still just a circle for me.
Oh, really?
Wizard sitting
All
there
right, I'm
smiling.
gonna jump out and jump back in.
He's
Wizard
making funny
smiling.
faces at you.
I'll be right back in. I'll be right back in.
All right, hurry back.
All right.
Yeah. And I eat off of regular dishes and I eat off of silverware. It's easier to wash them than to deal with all that garbage. Then you got to buy it again just to
Yep.
throw it away.
Not very environmentally friendly.
Uh,
Even if it's made out of like recycled material, it's just
right.
Well, I kept buying good stuff and it just somehow grows legs and disappears.
Right. Go to the Dollar Tree and get you some plates.
That's what I did. I kept buying it and it all disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, other people don't like what I get, so screw it. I'll eat off of paper plates. I don't care. I'm not buying anymore.
Sound
That's
like
all.
somebody just didn't want to do dishes at all.
All I do is fix things and buy shit, and I just like, no.
Well,
yeah. Kay, if you can hear me, it would not. Your device didn't even come up, so it's refusing to connect. If you're on a phone, I'd shut your phone down and reboot it and start over.
It's
Refresh
the,
the phone's internet connections.
it's the Colorado government. It's the government messing with me.
Government.
Government.
Oh, excuse me. Zoombait saying yesterday in his city, there was a drug deal that went bad. A cop was shot.
That's not good.
oh, shit.
Not good at all.
That is cool.
Yeah, I know, Susan. Well, Dollar Tree, everything in there is still $1 where I live.
That's going to change. That was something I saw in the news last week. Dollar Tree nationwide is going to be raising most of their stuff up to $2.
They got a new store right next to Dollar Tree called Five Below.
Yeah, we got those around here. They're interesting. They're more mainly geared towards younger people's crap. than older folks like us.
Lots of Chinese plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
Chinese shit. But I mean, you can go and get if you need like say a decent phone charger or something fairly cheap. You know, that's a good place to go get something like that, or a cheap pair of headphones or stuff like that. But Dollar Tree, that's where I like to buy like cleaning supplies.
Mhm.
Fuck, I buy food there, like canned vegetables. You can usually get them for like 50 cents.
I like the juices, the mango and those juices they sell.
Yeah.
We used to have something called the dime store, and
Mhm.
there were more than one kind of dime store. The one I remember is one called Ben Franklin's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where my mom used to buy my tennis shoes.
Yeah, Ben Franklin's around here. They changed into like a Michael's.
They used to have a lot of oddball stuff in there.
We used to have a store in my original hometown. It was called UFOs. It was the Unclaimed Freight Office. That was a cool store. They went, they got bulk orders of things from like the post office and UPS that weren't claimed, and after they sit around in a warehouse for a while, they just auction the shit off. And it was all mostly tools and stuff, automotive things, some electronics, but yeah, lots and lots of tools. Shit was dirt cheap, and none of it was Chinese made crap either. But this was back in the mid '80s.
The dime store was where I used to get all the little pranks and stuff. I used to get prank things like fake vomit and
Yeah.
Spiders and snakes and
yeah.
Hey, what's up, Huckleberry?
whoopee cushion. Huckleberry. There's my Huckleberry.
And I got all my army men that I used to blow up with firecrackers.
I miss the old Army Navy surplus stores that we had around here. They all closed up years ago.
We have them here.
Yeah, that's where I used to go get all my clothing for like when I was camping a lot in the Boy Scouts. I just get, old fatigues and shit.
There's not a lot of surplus anymore. A lot of it is dried up.
Yep, almost all the shit that you would usually find at those Army Navy stores back in the 80s and the 90s, and then in the mail order catalogs back in the 90s, you can't find that stuff anymore.
But you can get things that look like the old stuff if you go like on U.S. Cavalry, or there's you can even get you can have them send you a monthly catalog from U.S. Cavalry. I used to do that, and also from oh man, there's a bunch of places. Rothko makes a lot of things like vintage Vietnam fatigues, tiger stripe camouflage, and cool jungle boots and things like that. You can buy them out of Rothko.
Yeah, because that was my outfit for paddling canoes up in Canada. Was I had like 5 pairs of tiger stripe BDU pants. They were great. They were 50-50 poly cotton.
Yeah.
They would dry super fast after being in the water.
Yeah, they're like ripstop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were great.
It's like a ripstop poplin or something. Yeah, those are good. Well, you can get them, and then the other kind that they get is twill. So it's kind of like it's not denim, it's not that, but it's Actually, our fatigues that I got when I was in the Army were permanent press. So you're not supposed to have to iron them. Well, I wanted to look sharp, so I went down and bought me some cotton fatigues and took them to the dry cleaner and had them press them for me with starch. And I'm telling you, they were pressed so sharp, you almost couldn't get your legs in them.
The tires in the chat. What's up, buddy?
Combat boots shined from the soles all the way to the top. Spit shined.
Yeah.
I mean, parade looking. You could shave in my boots.
Now, there is one place that you can usually find a lot of that old equipment that's still floating around. Gun shows. All the gun shows around here usually have one or two vendors selling all that vintage surplus shit.
See, the stuff, yeah, and it's probably stuff from old stocks, because like the two big surplus stores around me, they have stopped getting new stuff or getting new actual surplus in. They don't get surplus at all. It's all made new by Proper and True Spec and those brands.
Now, I don't know about Proper, but I have some True Spec clothes. That shit is high quality. Like, it's built like I have a pair of two pairs of True Spec shorts, and they're built like a brick shit house. The stitching is, really well done. The material is real high quality and durable.
Well, I bought those from uniform shops when I was an EMT. I've got the black BDUs with the snaps for the shears, for EMT shears.
Mm-hmm.
For cutting clothes and whatever when you got a patient. Yeah. And my best ones were True Spec. I had them from different brands, and True Spec was the best, in my opinion.
Now, like, the best place used to be to get that stuff was the mail order company. It was Gary Owens Sportsman's Guide, which is now sportsmanguide.com. And they changed their whole business aspect like years ago. And they absolutely suck now. They're one of the most notorious price gougers on the internet for stuff like ammunition and supplies and stuff.
Tell me the name again.
It's sportsmansguide.com.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they started out as Gary Owens Sportsman's Guide, the mail order catalog. You could buy so much surplus shit on there back in the 80s and the 90s, like Alice packs and all the Alice gear and clips, uniforms, canteens, cook sets, surgical kits, ponchos,
the good
cold
stuff.
weather gear. And it wasn't just U.S. surplus. They were getting a lot of European and Russian surplus too.
They were. Yep, you're right.
I had a pair of German Army Gore-Tex overall bibs that I used to use when I would, have to go out in the winter and shovel or blow snow.
Was that the Tarn camo?
No, they were olive drab green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got too fat and split the seams on them and everything. But yeah, when I still fitted them, they were great.
Yeah, they jacked up the price on those everywhere. All the
Hey,
German.
Aaron. I didn't see that. Right.
German surplus got really expensive.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
they're
tell you-
still finding, newly discovered old stockpiles of that shit in old abandoned warehouses and whatnot.
Are you familiar with that jacket? I don't know what it's called, but it was originated in Iceland. They found Icelanders wearing it in the 1950s, and it's got a hood. The top part of it laces up to your throat, and the bottom part of it has got one big giant pocket that you can
Oh, yeah. That's like a traditional anorak style.
Anorak. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of that for the life of me. Anorak. Well, they were originally made out of wool. And I think the Icelanders got the idea from the Inuits.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I've always known anoraks as a Canadian thing.
Yeah,
When I worked up in Canada, a lot of the locals wore anoraks.
they didn't before the 1950s. They did not invent it. It was contact with Icelanders that were wearing them. And anyway,
That makes sense.
it kind of, well, if you think about it, you didn't even see hoodie sweatshirts until the 1960s. And it was a recent thing, the big pockets, and they got really popular. And the anoraks got really popular. And there's some guy who's making them now out of wool military blankets on Etsy, and I think it's on eBay, and you might even find them on Amazon. But they're 100% wool, and they're ugly. I mean, they make you look like a house. If you're kind of a heavy set guy, you look like a house, man. But they are. You can layer clothing under them, and they wick moisture away from you, so you could still breathe. So they're good on that. Anyway,
In the bowl.
Fire in the bowl. Get to the chopper.
so our military actually was making them in the modern camo, the OCP camo, and issuing to people just as like a raincoat kind of thing. And it's an anorak. They don't use the drawstring fastening system on the part that goes up to your throat, but that part's all zipper. But I actually like the drawstring idea and everything better, if you want to know the truth. The hardware all comes from China. Every pair of jeans, even if it says made in USA, we don't make stuff like zippers and rivets and all that here in the US anymore. It's all made in China. So they've got us by the short hairs.
That's all going to change.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if people were really into restarting U.S. economy, like sectors that we've abandoned to the Chinese, that's one of the easiest things that you can get into, as far as making shit out of metal. Because how fucking hard is it to make rivets?
I know people here. I know people, personal acquaintances of mine, that are tool and die makers, and they haven't been working for a very long time, for a good 20 years in tool and die industry, because it all went over to China.
Yep.
Skilled tool and die makers.
Yeah, that's what my grandfather was.
Yeah, there's not, and we still need them. But it all went to China.
Yep. They've
got us by the short hairs, literally. If you tried to start up a business, making clothing or anything like that, you can't get textiles from the U.S. There's very few textiles made here. Very little leather made here. In fact, a lot of leather comes out of Mumbai. A lot of leather here comes from places like Mumbai and Ethiopia. We really don't get anything from here. It all comes from somewhere else. A lot of it does. The majority of it. So I'd like to see a resurgence of textiles made in the USA and hardware for clothing, things like rivets and all that. I wish we'd start making them again. There's a lot of people could use those kind of low end jobs like that. Be better than sitting on their ass.
Yep.
Well, a lot of that stuff's automated nowadays too. Once you buy the machine, it just keeps making it.
Yeah, so you'd just be hiring machine operators.
Yeah.
Now, that's one thing that's still a fairly big industry around where I'm at, and it not just local. I'm talking like the whole like northern third of Ohio, stretching from Pennsylvania, to the other side of the state, because we're like the Rust Belt. A lot of the big industries crashed and left, but manufacturing, especially with like a lot of automated processes that just need an operator, automotive equipment suppliers, it's still a huge thing in my region.
Okay. One of our big wool suppliers, our biggest woolen mills, was Pendleton Woolen Mills. And Aaron said American cotton. I want to see American wool come back, and cotton, and all natural fiber.
Like, you remember like back in the 80s and the 90s, anytime you bought like fucking socks or underwear at a store, on the bag, you'd have a sticker, 100% American cotton and everything. You never see that anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, U.S. cotton. Yeah.
And even hemp is a huge textile fiber.
Mm-hmm.
If they get
on a resurgence right now since Trump legalized it.
It's not legal to grow in my state.
You may want to check again, because I think it should be.
You have to have permits. It's $500 to apply for it, and they come and inspect it on a regular basis.
Oh, even for just industrial hemp?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's exact. I wasn't even asking about weed. I was just asking about.
Neither was I. Yeah. We have in the southern part of the state, they have industrial hemp just for making rope and fucking. There's one. We got a company out in southern Ohio that they kind of formed a co-op with a lot of local farmers around this company, and they grow the hemp and they make sailcloth out of them for boats.
Okay. Thread for like cobblers, for shoe and sewing leather and luggage and all that, comes from linen, or not linen, but I think maybe linen's the same thing.
Are you talking the flaxseed?
Flax.
Yeah, flax.
Yeah, flax fiber. Yep. And so that's soft like hemp also. That could be soft, but it's super strong. And so what you get when you get natural fiber clothing is fabric that lasts longer, for one. If it's hemp clothing, I'm telling you, it will last for years and years, and it doesn't rot. Hemp does not rot. That's the reason why the Navy used hemp ropes.
Yeah.
So it makes really good clothing. You can make heavy canvas from hemp for shoes and things like that. It's good for all kinds of things. And yeah, we need a resurgence of that, because we need to be independent from the other countries.
I think if you look back in history, U.S. history, right around the time of the Revolution, when the country was born, hemp was our number one cash crop.
And it's environmentally friendly.
Yep.
And I could go on about it, but I won't.
Hemp actually renews the soil.
Flax does, yeah.
So does hemp.
Probably. I'm sure it does. I mean, it's similar as far as the fibers in it and everything.
Well, they actually use it as soil remediation.
But what else do we have? I mean, Asia is where Manila rope comes from. Asia. A lot of those fibers they use are all Asian, and they're not the quality that hemp is for rope and stuff like that.
Right.
And then hemp can also be used as a fiber in masonry work. They actually use stuff like that in stucco, and they're using fiberglass right now, but they could use hemp just as easily. And it could be in building products, could be in wood building products, it could be in masonry building products, all of that. And it will grow even in the worst environment in the desert. It will flourish. We probably grow it on the salt flats. Yeah, Apex is. He said he was going to do shrooms today, so I don't know. I heard you could smoke hemp rope.
There's actually an old hippie song that has to do with that. It's fucking hilarious. Let me find it. I'll put the link up for everybody if you want to listen to an old hippie stoner song. This thing's great.
Okay, Aaron. Snowing in Minnesota.
That's Minnesota. What's up, Nightingale?
Hi, Nightingale.
Welcome in. I'll put a link up so they can get in.
Yeah, come on up. Don't let it just be us three up here. Jeez.
Where you gonna go, Huckleberry?
Huckleberry, come on up.
It's not even fight time yet.
Huckleberry, we got to talk about stuff.
Yeah. You're supposed to tell us what we need to talk about.
Or Susan could even come up here. Why are the girls all talking about going to bed on a Friday night?
I know it's Friday night. It's like, what? It's not even midnight. And this fog rolled in. He's cold.
Come on.
That door.
Break out the foreman.
Yeah. Maybe you should finish that wall and put up the door there, Aaron.
Yeah, come on.
I love the fog. I welcome it.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't like driving in it in some parts of Oregon, though. It was so thick I couldn't even see past the hood of my truck.
Yeah.
And you don't know, you don't even see the headlights of another car until it's like a couple of feet right in front of you.
Oh, Greenwell season.
damp air. Yeah, that'll make your bones seize up on you. That's one thing I didn't like about that cold, humid type of climate, like up in Minnesota. I would just stiffen up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like arthritis central there. I don't know how people do it.
Right.
Can't hardly move. But that's like really, really cold with humidity accompanied with it. You know, it's just like, man, I tell you what, it's just not a happy place, really. Not in the winter.
Hey, Shadow Man, what's up, man?
Hey, Shadow Man. Hello.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to him last night about the solar stuff. And
Oh, you're hurting? What's wrong?
Sorry to hear that.
What's wrong, Shadow Man?
he said he's got 3 sleeping bags. Nope, getting tonight.
Eat a can of beans and fart all night long to keep you warm.
If you had a puppy, the puppy would fart and keep you warm. Oh, good lord. Bad news, huh, Shadow? He's got the DeWalt plug-in for the suicide vest.
That's actually kind of cool.
Right.
Oh, man, that's not fun.
No. My hips aren't the greatest either.
My mom right now is in the hospital. They put rods in hers because she had a fall.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, she's all wired together with rods and stuff.
No getting past the metal detector for her, huh?
No, I mean, she's got rods in her shoulder, her back, her hips, everything. Knees, everything.
Wow.
Literally. She's got all kinds of scars and everything.
I need a rod in my dick to make it stay hard all the time.
Well,
I don't know why that popped in my head, but I thought it was appropriate for this time of night on a Friday.
Right. Friday night, what the fuck?
the only thing is you need to get married and have a bunch of wives or something, and then you'd have a purpose for it.
Yeah. I didn't think of that far ahead.
All righty. Oh man, really?
Excuse me.
Wow. Well, when we're younger, we all think we're indestructible, and then the shit catches up to you.
True. Yeah, I abused myself physically for years when I was a teenager. Mostly,
Which is why you need the rod in your dick.
no, that's why my knees are fucked, is because of all the mountain biking that I used to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my fucking shoulders are pretty much shot because of all the paddling of canoes that I did. So, yeah, 2 years of paddling canoe, and within 2 years, like, I couldn't play fucking baseball anymore. Bummed me out, and I used to love to play baseball.
I'm hoping sometime that maybe the VA will pay for it and give me a complete titanium spine transplant.
Okay, Wolverine.
And add some dorsal spikes. Oh yeah, you gonna try to hit me with that skateboard, you little punk? Hit me right here.
Man, I went to a concert once. Forget who it was, but it was a big heavy metal show in downtown Cleveland. And there was a guy in the crowd that I don't even know how he made it into the place, but about maybe an hour into the show, security showed up. Like 5 security guys surrounded this dude on the venue floor. He had body modifications, like extreme body modifications going on. He had a metal plate inserted underneath his scalp that covered like his entire head, front to back. And it had screw-in points that came through the skin on the top in a line right down straight through the middle of his skull. And he screwed in like these 6-inch long metal spikes, kind of like a punk rocker thing, like a deadly mohawk. They're like, sir, you need to take those things off. If you get thrown or someone gets thrown at you from the mosh pit, you're gonna kill him. The guy's drunk as fuck. No problem. I'm all right. And they ended up picking him up and, a 4-man carry and hauled his ass out of there.
So my next question is, how did he keep his scalp alive?
I don't know. But yeah,
Without
he had a
any
surgically
blood flow.
implanted plate underneath his skull. It was underneath the skin on the skull. It was crazy.
I don't know how you get blood flow to his scalp is what I'm wondering,
Excuse me. What's up, Aaron?
Oh man, I'm just like enjoying my sabbatical over here.
Is that what you call it?
It's a fancy corporate term, and I like it. And I don't think that like all these fancy fucking corporate people, they the only ones that could get a sabbatical. I think a sabbatical should go to the common folk also.
We just get leave of absences if we're
We're
lucky.
fired.
Yeah, laid off.
I ain't got good lighting tonight, and it's for good reason. Because I'm not running the generator tonight. I'm just charging my phone off a DeWalt battery, and hey, it's good. I tried this vest. I got 3 weeks out of it. The USB to plug in the heated vest. It's done. It's shit. It's garbage. Throw it out.
So Aaron, when did you get back home?
Oh, I bought 2 nights at the Best Western, and it was like $104 a night. Which, I mean, it is, but I got myself a new jacket. And I bought 3 DeWalt batteries, a 6, a 4, and a 2 for $150. It's great. That was a good deal. And let's see. And I bought $700 worth of silver. I had to.
Oh, so you went to the pawn shop?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I asked the pawn shop. I says, well, and they want me to do a live stream and promote their business. And I says, oh fuck, I'll do that. And I told them I'll bring my tripod and then we'll set up and shit. And then you guys could see what I'm after. Man, I scored. I spent $700. I could have spent another 7, but I gotta review my financial portfolio. I gotta review my financial cornholio. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Cornholio.
Yeah, you said you got it all for $20 an ounce.
I am Cornholio. I need to put my bunghole.
No, I like this silver. Let me see. Can I switch?
Aaron, did you say you got it all for like $20 of
$21 for $1 of face? And what I mean by that is it cost me $21 to buy 10 dimes that are 90% silver. It cost me $21 to buy 4 quarters, which is $1 face, or 2 $half.
Were they Franklin dimes or Mercury dimes?
I got a couple of Mercuries. They were mostly Franklins, mostly 1964s. I tried to get the mint luster on stuff is what I was looking for. AU they call it. It's like a grade of 50. You know.
Right, circulated
But lightly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm after. See if I can put my camera in. Hold on. Let me see if I can put my camera. I think I can. No, I just shut my camera off. Camera. Oh, let me do that. Hold on. I gotta go back. Nah, I can't. I gotta do this one. I got my thing.
We got to go find us some catalytic converters.
Oh, harvest the platinum.
The platinum and the gold. Some of them have gold.
Man, I remember that. God, over 20 years ago, when I was in high school, there was a rash of thefts in my town. People were going around at night and hitting all the car dealerships and used car lots. They'd hop the fence, and they had a battery-powered Sawzall, and they just went up and down the rows of cars, and they cut off every single fucking catalytic converter they could find. They'd do like 80 a night from one place.
Somebody told me how you could do it with a screwdriver. Don't even need to carry around a Sawzall. There, if you know the right spot where they are, you just take it and jab that freaking screwdriver up in there and get them out. I think it's like in the top of the catalytic converter. There's a little spot in there. Little short, stubby screwdriver. You punch a hole in there and get them out. I don't know. I've never done it, and I don't even remember how he said he did it, that you could do it. He had it done to one of his vehicles. And somebody had pried it open. That's how he found out about it. They just used a screwdriver, punched a hole in it, and got the platinum out. I know a lot of them are platinum, and some are gold. Some of them are gold. They're little like bearings. They look like little bearings or something.
Oh,
like BBs.
Yeah. Now I've kind of been into watching videos and following some people on YouTube that are into the high-end metals recycling industry, and there's an outfit in Washington State called Mount Baker Mining and Minerals, and they have their own line of recycling equipment that they produce and sell, and it's basically like a turnkey system where you take whatever material you want to break up, load it into this big ass hopper, and you have like a ball mill that'll smash the shit up into, you know, little chunks of bits, and it runs through a conveyor belt, has a magnetic interrupter that moves all, you know, ferrous material off the ramp, and then it feeds it into another crusher, and it feeds into a water pumped shaker table to separate, you know, the heavy from the light materials, and you can recover precious metals real easy, you know. So take a whole bunch of catalytic converters and just smash them like that. It's the easiest way to go.
Well, see, you know, my metal detector, it's got a discriminator. I've got a couple of detectors, and they've got discriminators. So you're going to know. You're not going to know the difference between a gold and aluminum for the most part, because they're both soft metals. So your softer metals are going to look, they're going to sound, the tones are going to sound real close. You get your more harder metals and stuff, and it'll be different. But and it actually will show you a little thing. If it looks like a coin, if the detector thinks it's a coin, a little thing will show up, whether it's a quarter, dollar, whatever, you know.
Oh,
One of them I bought from Cabela's. It was there. I guess if I was going to buy it right now, it's probably double or triple the price of what it was. But there's some good gold only detectors. So if you're looking for gold, the coil and everything is different on them. If you're into gold prospecting, you might want to just get a gold only type of detector. And they've got a kinds of configuration ones they mount on vehicles even. But wouldn't it be cool to find some meteorites? I'd like to find meteor metal.
Website that I share all the time for my guns and tools and everything, at Devore.com. They got a department sale going on right now for metal detectors. I'll put the link up in the chat.
It's a way to get income. Well, I mean, not really, but at least it's a hobby that pays you back.
Yeah.
The only thing you got to do is buy the batteries or recharge them. What I do with mine is I put the batteries in backwards when I'm not using it. That's how I store my batteries in it.
Yeah.
Because they will drain even with the machine turned off. And both of mine use two little 9-volt batteries. The old ones that like my cousin had an old Garrett detector, and it was really heavy, and it had like one of those lantern lights in it, lantern type batteries in it.
Mm-hmm.
So a big old giant freaking battery.
Yeah, my dad bought a metal detector like back in the early 90s, and it's sitting in the basement. No one's touched it in like 20 years. I have no idea what kind it is or what brand.
Well, it's exercise. You get out in the fresh air, It's a hobby, just like fishing or something. It pays. It does pay to kind of do your homework too. You know,
Yeah.
looking at old maps where housing projects that were torn down or whatever, and looking at the age of the buildings around where you're doing your metal detecting.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna get your silver coins.
Old abandoned farms that are completely like, you know, the houses are all gone. All that's left are like foundation stones and shit. Another good place to look.
Well, out where you live, Ohio was established a lot earlier than where I live.
Yeah.
So if you found stuff, you'd be finding artifacts out there.
Well, we used to find Indian artifacts, arrowheads, all over the place. I remember picking arrowheads out of the field when I was about 4 or 5 years old. After whoever was running the tractor with the discs up the field, you always find a few arrowheads still. My dad found tons of them back when he was a kid.
My grandpa found pottery, and he took the pottery, he glued it all back together again. Tried to find every single piece of the pottery.
Yeah.
And old Indian baskets. We found them too. My grandpa did. But a lot of that stuff's been picked over, you know.
Yeah.
And closed off. A lot of the places people used to go are now forbidden to do any type of detecting.
Really?
Well, yeah. Because some of them are federal lands now, and they don't allow it. Canyonlands is one of them. You're not allowed to touch anything there. Like
I remember back in the 80s, the town where I grew up at when I was a kid, they had a city ordinance that in any of the city parks, you couldn't dig for anything and you couldn't pick anything, like any kind of plant, flower, wild berry, nothing like that. And they would enforce, you know, you just didn't get a warning. You actually got a ticket.
California, throw you in prison.
Yep.
If you found something that was an artifact on a beach or something, and if anybody knew about you collecting it, you would go to jail for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking like these parents, you know, take their kids to the park and everything, and there'd be a city cop down there, and if he saw like kids picking wild berries or something like that, he'd fucking give the mother or the father a fucking ticket just for picking fucking berries.
Well, they have that in a lot of places around here too. There's actually, but ours are more like certain species that they banned you being able to even touch, or open areas where you can't drive a vehicle because, well, up in the oil fields, for example, there's these real rare kinds of cactus that they're almost extinct, and they tell you got to stay on the roads. You can't drive off the roads. We used to drive anywhere we wanted to. We can't do it anymore because they're talking about damaging the sensitive eco structure and blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, I hear shit like that out in Nevada where it's just the type of soil that they have on the ground there. Like the soil's alive with microbes and shit. And like, oh, you can't drive or walk on it, you know? You like stop on the side of the road and look at it. It's like, fuck you. Fucking dirt.
Right.
We get that here too. A lot of this stuff isn't enforced unless they want to. Because there are people that are ignorant, that do a lot of ignorant stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well, let's take Canyonland. You know what Canyonlands looks like in Bryce
Mhm.
Canyon. They had all these bicyclers that are, they're kind of tree huggers types
Yeah.
that would go bicycling through the canyons and they would stop on the side of the road and defecate and leave trails of toilet paper all over the place and things like that. Leave trash, potato chip wrappers, soda cans, all kinds of crap. And, they had to dig in and they get fined for that now because it is a natural wonder.
Where I worked at up in Canada, most of the area that we operated up there was within a provincial park in Ontario. And, you had to follow the park laws and everything. And the park, the government maintained primitive campsites all around the river system. And I remember that there was this one campsite on this one bay that was absolutely fucking gorgeous. And it was on a hillside, but there was flat spots for tents, easy access to the water, just a great view. And it was all covered in spruce trees. And we were told by the base manager at the camp not to use that particular campsite for the second year that I was up there. We're like, why? And he's like, well, it's being used too much. So we want to try and, let it regrow a little bit. We're like, whatever, cool. There's other campsites around. Well, I had to take a group of kids out to that particular area one day, and we went to one of the alternate campsites. And I'm the guide, so I'm the first person on the land to walk around and make sure nobody's there and everything. And I walk into this campsite, and literally there's like 500 little piles of turds with toilet paper on top of them scattered all over the campsite. Like right, in the areas that you would put your tents, the walking trails, the common area where you would set up your campfire and your kitchen and everything. Fucking little turds and toilet paper everywhere.
Who are these people that do this stuff? I mean, probably
fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
So me and the two adult leaders from the troop, like, we cleaned up the site. We took a couple garbage bags and some gloves and cleaned it all up. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to make you guys paid for a nice experience to come up here. I'm not going to make you camp in a campsite that, even though we cleaned it up, there's still fucking poop residue everywhere. I'm not going to make you, camp here tonight. I'm like, let's paddle right across the bay. It'll take 20 minutes to get there. There's a real nice campsite. And it was the one that we were told not to use. So we went there and it was great and everything. But one of the kids got sick to the point where I had to call the base to have a boat sent out to pick this kid up to take him to the hospital. And when the base manager came by in the boat a couple hours later, he was expecting us at the other campsite, and we were in the one that he told us not to use. He was pissed. He started reading me a riot act. I told you not to come to this site. No. The two adult leaders in the troop pulled him aside and like, no, he made a choice because the other campsite was polluted.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to make, paying customers sleep near.
I'm not going to make people sleep in a giant outdoor toilet.
Right.
Oh, we made a report to the provincial park. Well, it's run by the Ministry of Natural Resources, and they team up with Ontario Provincial Police. And we're like, you guys need to look into the records to see if like this group registered that campsite, for the time frame before we were here, because they took pictures of it. And they're like, yeah, if we find out who it is, we'll find them.
So
Never
my
heard anything after
my
that,
big-
though.
my big question is, do they have problems with you actually digging a latrine and using that?
No, that's what you're supposed to do. You have to set up at least 50 feet away from the closest shoreline and dig at least 2 feet down.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be done.
And that's for, fecal matter. You can piss basically wherever you want, as long as it's 50 feet from the shore.
You kind of got to be careful with that because they'll nail you on other stuff like public lewdness and things like that. You know,
Well,
I have
we're
I
in
have
the
a
wilderness.
look. I had a cousin. He was at a pool hall playing pool and everything, and I mean he won trophies. He had tons of trophies from playing pool. Well, he goes there, he drinks beer and stuff like that. Well, he went outside behind a bush and somebody knew he was pissing, but they couldn't see it, but they called the cops on him.
Yeah, that happens.
This was way back in like 19 this was like early 1980s. So years go by and he's got this public lewdness charge on his record. Because he was pretty shit faced and he was taking a leak behind a bush. And anyway, now he's a registered public sex offender apparently, because he's on that list for taking a piss back in the early 1980s. How's that for you?
Now, we had a problem here in Cleveland about maybe 4 years ago. We had a serial pooper. This guy would go around in the city of Cleveland and the surrounding closest suburbs, and he would just shit like in crazy open spaces, that are highly trafficked by the public. And it happened like in the city of Cleveland and like 5 different suburbs, and it was going on for like 2 or 3 years. They finally caught the guy. He decided to take a shit outside the front of a bank, and he didn't realize that banks have cameras outside, So they caught this guy on camera at like 2 a.m, pants down around his ass, taking a dump on the sidewalk right in front of the front doors of the bank. And they put it on TV and everything. They censored out his ass, but they zoomed in on his face, and they're like, call Cleveland Police Department if you know this person. And they caught him like 3 days later.
Now
he got sent to jail for 4 or 5 years.
After he gets out of jail and it's all said and done, I could just imagine him apply for a job or something. Weren't you the guy that was prosecuted as a serial pooper? Oh shit!
Yeah, dude, fucked up. Welcome in, Jason.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
I mean, how do you explain that to your grandkids? Yeah, I was arrested a long time ago for being a serial pooper.
Well, dude, I got something similar myself that I experienced about 4 years ago. When I was at work one day, I got popped by our local police department in a underage alcohol sting. I sold the local cops, they get volunteers from like the high school that come in, and they're usually sponsored by like Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and shit. And they sent this kid in, and I sold him a tall boy beer. With tax, it was $1.09. And turns out that he was only 20 years old, and I didn't card him. And in my eyes, he looked like he was 28 or 29. He was a big college age looking guy. And suffice to say, I couldn't really fight it because technically, I didn't follow the law by carding him, whatever. So for selling this guy a $1 beer, It ended up costing me about $900 in court fees and fines, and the way that they charged it on the books, the charge that they use, it's titled offenses involving a minor.
Ooh.
So, if anybody runs a background check on me, they're gonna think I'm like a fucking kitty molester or something. All because I sold this dude a fucking beer and didn't card him.
Well, that's what my cousin's looks like. Public lewdness. But all it shows is it was a sex offender. He's all these years have gone by. In fact, it should have been, removed in like 7 years or something like that, 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that I could go and get mine expunged from the courts.
Well,
it just cost me a lot of money to do it.
Well, maybe you go to the Legal Aid Society of Ohio.
Well, the way that works in Ohio, it's not a state-run thing; it's a county-run thing, and almost all of those agencies only handle criminal stuff. They don't handle common court. So, it's fucked up. Ohio's got fucked up laws.
I wonder if you could appeal to the court or something to have the title of the offense changed. Just so that.
Yeah, I'm sure some. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Just say to them, it looks very insidious and it could affect my future.
Yeah.
If you have to leave it on there, do you have to call it that? It's very insidious connotation.
And the prosecutor was like a real asshole about it because I had taken, I have the right to seek legal counsel. So when I initially had to appear at court, on the arraignment, it wasn't even with a judge. It was with what do they call them? A magistrate. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, I can afford my own lawyer. I don't need one appointed to me. But it's going to take me, a couple of weeks to get the money together to hire one. They're like, okay, we'll move your next hearing, to a month from now. And I had to apply for an extension for that for another month because I just couldn't afford it at the time. And they finally offered me a plea bargain to make this deal. And when I had the hearing, it was with an actual judge. And, I was all respectful and everything and addressed her properly. But she just, didn't take kindly to me for some reason. She basically told me, she's like, if you get charged again with this offense within the next 5 years, there will be no plea deals or nothing. You go to jail for 6 months. I'm like, okay.
Oh, man, sorry to hear that. It's hard to get. Hey, Zach.
Mouse in the house. Oh, just in time. You know what time it is? It's 11:11. It's time for pie. All right.
Looks like Zach's got some lemonade or something.
Is that lemonade in there?
Margarita.
Oh my God.
Party time. It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. It's time for pie.
I haven't had a margarita in a long time. I stopped drinking margaritas when I discovered mojitos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't apologize for it, but I've never had a margarita or a mojito.
Margaritas are generally tequila, which I'm not fond of. Mojitos are rum. Oh, he's got blueberry.
Yeah, baby. Mm.
I used to like Jack and Coke.
Mm.
That was
I
my
used to drink Beam and Cokes.
good too.
I've never been a fan of Jack Daniels. I don't know.
Yeah,
Back
that was
when I
my
was,
old timey thing.
yeah, when I was in my party hard days, that was my go-to for whiskey was Jim Beam.
And rum and Coke. I like rum and Coke too. I used to like it anyway.
Now in Germany, they can't get Jack Daniel, but you
Yeah,
could
you
buy
told
it.
us that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
would
paid
buy
rent on
it
my.
and sell it to the locals or give it to them, and they'd hook you up with shit.
I never sold it. I did the gray market. I paid my rent on my apartment with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That and a carton of Marlboro American cigarettes. I never
Oh,
paid a dime in money.
Now, if I lived down further south, I'd probably set up some kind of like little tiki bar or something where I could grow some palm trees and have a tiki bar.
I've never been in a tiki bar, but I would like to go to one. They look cool.
Yeah, there's a place called Parker, Arizona, and it's where the Colorado River goes through. I swear it looks like the Blue Lagoon down there. It's so beautiful. Palm trees and stuff everywhere. It's just stunning. That'd be a place, really, honestly, to set up like a little tiki bar or something. Oh, you would like a mojito? Well, don't worry, it's not gay. Just is mojito a gay drink? Is it?
No.
I think that was actually a what show was that on? Is mojito? I think it was Family Guy. Is mojito a gay drink?
Oh, okay.
I never watched Family Guy. I couldn't
It
stand that show.
I like it. I like it. I like the dog Brian. Just because Brian is such an asshat.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know. Weird humor fascinates me.
You know what? I never did get into the Three Stooges.
I
I never
did.
saw the humor in it.
I did. And Laurel and Harvey.
My dad loved the Stooges. And there was another one kind of like the Stooges, but it was all kids. Old Black Show. God, what was the name of it? I think it had a character named Buckwheat.
Oh, the Little Rascals.
Little black kid.
Little Rascals.
Little Abner. Little Rascals. Oh, my dad loved the Little Rascals. Yeah. He's got all the DVDs and everything.
I guess it's just because I grew up in a really rough way, you know. So all the physical violence around me was just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I did it. I watched that stuff to escape. It was like my only escape from all the screaming and yelling and stuff in my house.
My dad said that when he was a young kid, like between 5 and 10, the best memories he had of watching TV back then, they used to play a lot of Liberace concerts, like back in the mid to late 50s. He said that his favorite thing to watch was fucking Liberace on like ABC or CBS or something.
I always hated Liberace.
Yeah, not my thing.
Yeah, it
He's like,
sounds
oh,
like
it was so
something.
flat. Like if once you get past the gayness, it's like it's just an awesome production. I'm like, yeah, but it's still gay.
Still gay.
Sorry, I didn't even really like Elvis that much. He was just too
I think he was
flamboyant.
not. I like
The
him
only
more as an actor than I did as a musician.
Exactly. I used to watch all his beach shows and stuff. Watch the cute chicks, you know. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about any of his music.
Yeah, I can't even think of one Elvis song that I like.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Now the Beach Boys, I used to love the Beach Boys.
Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
Go ahead, Zach.
So Wizard, guess what? My dad had his second court date Wednesday for my puppy, and he was sentenced to trial in March.
Cool.
Oh,
Well, they set the trial in March. For what?
Excuse me.
Fire in the bowl.
I like the Monkees too. That TV show is funny. And
Those
actually,
shows.
some of the movies that the Beatles did, I kind of liked, and I don't like the Beatles for music. Never did.
Look, Vietnam was going on. There was a lot of really bad news back then, you know, about Vietnam and people dying and everything. And I think a lot of that stuff was kind of a way to get away from it, you know?
Yeah.
Happy thoughts. We just got over World War II in Korea. Yeah. Go ahead, Zach.
I guess just because the district attorney is prejudiced against my dad's girlfriend's last name.
That's fucked up.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
That's really messed up.
That's chicken shit. Like that GA that was after Rittenhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fucking clueless.
That guy was he actually didn't sound like he was really doing. He wasn't really prosecuting. It was just all like attacks on him, trying to smear him or something.
He was definitely taking orders from unknown figures above him.
Yep.
As to how they wanted that to go.
Stuff that wasn't even relevant. Not even relevant.
Yep.
And proved himself wrong in his own submissions.
Well, I hope everything works out there, Zach. I hope something good will come out of it. Usually when these kind of attacks come like that, that's because there's something good coming after.
Yep.
Karma.
Well, it's usually the devil comes in like a flood. That's because you're getting ready to get blessed. That's how that works. I don't know if that gives you any consolation, but I hope it does. Because that's usually how it works, at least for everybody that I see around me and myself. It's usually a lot of bad stuff happens. Like I remember when I got my back messed up on the job, and I was like, God, why is this happening to me? You know? And I couldn't figure it out. And then after that, I got a settlement from a lawsuit because they were just going to leave me like that. They weren't going to do surgery on me or anything.
Wow.
They tried to get out of it. The company tried to get out of it. I had to get a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So-
gonna take off for a minute. I got to drain the main vein and get a drinky refill. So I'll be back in a few.
I'm
All
just saying when something, something like that comes, hard times comes, maybe for her and everything. Hard times come like that, and it seems like everything's going wrong, and it'll get better after. Something will happen. It did for Rittenhouse. We thought Rittenhouse was done for. He's doing book signings and he's gonna be rich off of this when he gets done suing all their asses.
He started with the attorneys.
I think
Suing the attorneys that misrepresented it.
what he ought to do, Zach, is I think he ought to buy CNN. Buy CNN, fire them all, and replace them all with Patriots.
Right. Exactly. That would be awesome.
Little Rittenhouse. Guess who's your new CEO? Now, when CNN says we're going to be fair and balanced, it will be if Rittenhouse buys it. I don't know. TV's done with. It's all dinosaur media anyway. I'm just
Exactly.
joking around. I don't care how much money I had. I would never buy any news agency. None of them. In fact, I'd probably use all my money and influence to hire lawyers to have all the fake news media all taken down forever.
Yeah.
I'd launch an all-out attack. I'd hire a team of lawyers, the best lawyers in the world, and I'd freaking have them all removed. I'd sue the hell out of every last one of them.
Do a nationwide class action suit for libel against the media for propaganda.
Yeah. Imagine. I hope I get $500 million. I get $500 million, I'm hiring a bunch of attorneys and I'm going to have them all taken out. I bet you I'd get other donors that would join in with me in a big class action lawsuit and have all the media removed. Sit down with some strategists like Zach and try and figure out how to freaking take them down. I bet you could help me out with some ideas.
But the just seems there's a whole lot better ways to use the money.
Well, true. I just want my country back. I want my country back.
Yeah.
I don't care about
Coming back.
I don't really care that much about my own personal gain. There's probably a lot of things I could do to help people out. But I care more about getting my country back.
Right. Yep.
I'll put it all on the line. On that note, I think I'm going to go make my bladder flatter. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
I've never heard that one before. That I like that. Usually it's I gotta go water a tree or see a man about a horse.
Right. Drain the main vein. But yeah, no, it's coming to be. Have faith. This is all coming to an end here really soon.
Well, okay, you know that I source a lot of my intel from Monkey Works.
Right.
He's been tracking for most of the past year all the flights that are going down to Guantanamo and back and forth. There's a lot of shit happening down there. They're moving prisoners out of Guantanamo and taking them to other places to hold trials now. I think because they got so many trials going on at Gitmo, they don't have the facilities to handle them all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they.
I'm back.
It's possible that they're holding trials in Puerto Rico now and doing them offshore on naval vessels.
Well, I know Bikini Atoll and Mark Islands are being utilized for that stuff as well.
Yeah.
I heard that about Puerto Rico, though. In fact, Puerto Rico has been a place that we have done that in the past a lot. So, yeah, I had to purge the python. Is that better?
Yeah, I like that. Now, here's a story that I saw a few days ago. Okay, Monkey's been one of his tracking sources. He tracks marine traffic, to see how many ships are tied up at the ports and everything. And it coincided with an article that came out of the Warzone Drive blog. Apparently, the U.S. military is very, very worried about those boats that are sitting in ports, because apparently it looks like it's a real deal that the Chinese may have shipping containers on those boats that are actually portable missile launching systems.
Yep. What I hear what you're saying. What they're saying is they have these sniffer planes that they're checking them out with right now.
Yep. The sniffer planes are flying both. There's one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and then there's a spare that's been flying almost constantly for the last 3 or 4 months over Philadelphia. And it just returned to DC like 2 days ago.
You're actually helping me out with some news that I heard that I just couldn't pull it out of my memory there. I'm hearing the same exact things of what you just said.
Yeah. Philly is the eastern U.S.'s biggest black immigration site, where they're bringing in all the fucking refugees from Afghanistan and everywhere else. It's the major distribution point once they get out of the military bases.
Where?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had a sniffer plane flying over Philadelphia every day for like the last 4 months because they're worried about fucking Afghans.
Yeah.
Bringing radiologicals in and shit.
I think there's another one in Tennessee too.
But as far as these Chinese rocket launcher systems in the containers, that's what. See, the thing is, okay, if you look on the flight tracking websites like ADBS or Skywatch, you see everything military that is transponding live, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't want to be identified, so it has a transponder code, but that's it. It doesn't tell you what it is or any information about it. And then the fighter craft, they don't even show up. They don't run on transponders. You have to pick through the data. So you start watching the tanker traffic, like the RC-135s and like the KC-10 extenders, all those aerial refueling planes. they're massing over both coasts near all the major port areas. So we have carriers offshore in the Pacific and in the Atlantic that are running constant fighters in the air just because of this threat of the missiles in the ports.
Not just that, but sub hunters.
Oh, that was out today too. They had there was a surge out of Jacksonville in Florida of
Yep.
8 or 9 P8s and P3s
Yep.
heading all out off the Florida coast and up to Georgia, where Kings Bay sub base is. Being supported by tankers.
This is important information because we're not getting any legitimate news right now.
Yeah.
So learning this stuff, we have to look at other things that are going on to kind of get a better view of it.
Yeah.
No, your sources are probably the same as mine. Some
It's Monkey Works on YouTube.
Yeah, mine too. Yep, I watch him every single upload he does.
Yep.
I watch him as fast as I can because the things that he puts up there are like critical stuff.
Did you see the one early this week about so far this year, the border officials have arrested 4,100 Russian illegals trying to get into the country.
4,100, and that's what he's saying is that's only the ones that we know of.
Yes.
4,100 Russians. How does that happen?
I guarantee, if I'm wrong, I'll pay anybody $100 who wants to take the bet. They are fucking little green men.
Yep. Well, see, a lot of what's coming in the caravans are military age young men. They're not all women and children.
Oh yeah, about 90% of them.
Yeah, the majority of them. We talk about the women and the children and being separated from their families and all this stuff, but they're not talking about all these military age young men.
Yeah, and when you interview them, they're all saying that they were basically told to leave their home country and they would be escorted up to America, all funded by George Soros. By the
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
And told that if you make it and get to the U.S. and you can pass, actually become a citizen or whatever your earliest opportunity is, you have to vote Democrat.
I don't know what else they're telling him too, if they're putting him in any kind of training camps or.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm kind of wondering if there's more to it than what we're seeing.
Well, that's another thing with the flights. It's not a chemical sniffer plane, but they have electronic sniffer planes that intercept, cell phone transmissions and shit, and do massive dumps of the local cell towers. They're flying all over the U.S. right now, mostly around the bases where all those people are being housed in the surrounding areas.
Really?
Yeah, trying to catch, all the chatter on their free Obama phones that they get, who they're talking to and, whatnot. All that shit going on all over the country.
Yeah, because they're staying in touch with each other.
Yep.
They're here on a mission. They're sent here on a mission. They're not just being sent by Soros just to relocate them. They're being sent here on a mission for something. That's my
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
No, it's not my story. I mean, it's just, when you start to use your deductive reasoning skills, military age young men coming over here, leaving their families and everything.
Well, they're seeing the same thing in Europe. All those immigrant issues that they're dealing with, about 90% of them are fighting age males.
Yeah, and it's not like we've got a robust economy that they're coming here for jobs.
No. I forget who it was. Someone posted a video on YouTube today. They broke down the statistics and they said about 78% of all these people coming in will not contribute in any beneficial way within the next 10 years.
Yep.
And they said that the younger generation that are trying to get in, they may want to contribute, for our benefit, but they face opposition from their fucking families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're coming here for the purpose of assimilating.
No. And that's the weird thing. Like when I was 20 years ago, when I was still in school, the city I was living in, we had a very large population of Palestinians, Egyptians, and Indians. And they did whatever they could to assimilate into their societies. It's not like now where, at my store, you get an Arab family walk in and they're all talking in, Muslim speech. Back then, they spoke English. They only spoke Arabic when they were in their homes. Not anymore. The whole idea of becoming an American for these immigrants has changed in the last 20 years. And to be honest with you, I can't fucking stand it when you get a bunch of them people coming in to my store and they're all speaking Habib, Habab, Hubub, and all that shit. It annoys the fuck out of me.
Middle Eastern God.
Yeah.
Fire in the bowl.
Fire. I was just getting ready to say fire in the motherfucking bowl. Oh, yeah. Brought to you by Sausage Gravy Biscuit Farms. .com.
.com.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Dice did it again. He did a Brian Stelter thing.
Oh, no.
Did he?
That guy has to be like the most childish, evil-looking person I've ever seen in my life. He looks like what Chucky would look like once Chucky reaches 40 years old or something.
I know. What about Don Lemon?
And he has the worst fucking ratings of anything that they rate. I don't know how he still has that show. I think they keep him on because he's so bad. Just as a distraction.
Right.
I think they keep him on so that when everybody looks at how bad everybody is at CNN, they always say, but Brian Stelter's worse.
Yeah, I remember when CNN was good back in the old days.
I don't. When did that start? I don't remember that.
Oh, like in the early 90s, like around the Gulf War.
Oh, the
when
green.
they had what's her name? Connie Chung was with them, and Bernard Shaw. They were actually very good, and they had, and as far as if you look past whatever side they were supporting or whatever, just their coverage of world events was superb. You know, no one could beat them back then.
So you were a Chris Wallace fan?
Never. No, I was a Connie Chung fan.
Well, I never was. I never liked Connie Chung. I never hated her. I just never liked her.
Carnivore.
There were some scandals about her.
Well, yeah, and I'm talking CNN was good up to a point. Basically until Clinton got in office.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Clinton definitely was a psyop.
There was so much shit going on with the Clintons. No one's ever going to be able to tie it down and get the whole picture. Although, if you'll believe it, I do remember there was a report years ago that the Clintons came very close to being assassinated. Bill and Hillary were on a presidential trip overseas. I think it was in Yugoslavia after the war had ended there. And Hillary says, and some other people say, back her up, that when Air Force One landed at the airport, wherever they were at, that someone fired an RPG at the crowd where they were standing. And they somehow survived.
Well, that wasn't at the time when Hillary said that she landed under sniper fire, I don't think, was it?
No, this was different.
Well, because people came out about that.
She's been in the news the last couple of days. She did an interview on one of the mainstream channel networks, and she read aloud on air the speech, her victory speech if she would have won back in 2016, and she was all fake crying throughout the whole fucking thing. It was disgusting.
Wow.
She didn't win.
No, she didn't. Although one of the networks said today that, yeah, you won. Fuck you. I want Hillary's head on a spike. And I want her body dragged behind a boat in the ocean for the sharks.
Yeah, make sure it's not her clone, though. Or a body double. Try to get the original. She's probably in a test tube in a cave up in Idaho. Because I think she probably could have died in 2015.
Now, her real head is in one of those animation tanks in the little flying saucers from Futurama.
Yeah. Laughing. We came, we saw, they died.
And even after all the bad shit that Bill's done, I do feel sorry for him for having to marry that thing. That makes the hair on the back of my neck stick up just to think of that.
How could he handle the smell of rotten cabbage all the time? Rotten cabbage and rotten eggs kind of combination, like
Sulfur, brimstone. Some really stinky fish. Mildew.
Now, here's the upshot to all this. Think about there's like 7 volcanoes going from Central America all the way into South America that are hot, going right now. Lava, the whole thing. Wouldn't it be nice to just think of those volcanoes? Imagine just dumping them out of a plane in volcanoes. Hot lava.
Well, on Monkey's report today, you know how he always does the earthquake and volcano, rundown. That the southernmost active volcano in South America, it's producing an enormously, oddly large ash plume. Like, it's on the Pacific side, and the ash plume is blowing east, and it's spreading like fucking crazy. It's a real active volcano. I wouldn't want to be anywhere down there. Not far from the Cape of Good Hope, within a couple hundred miles. That's an area I would love to be able to visit sometime. It's so fucking beautiful down there.
Canary Islands looks beautiful.
Yeah, I would love to go there. The Azores too.
Didn't Colonel Saw say that he's been there?
Yeah, he went there on vacation earlier this year.
Wow.
He had a video on his channel. I don't think it's there anymore. Yeah, I think he actually hiked up one of those volcanoes. He was hiking up some mountain. It was way high up.
I don't know if he went on La Palma or not.
He could have, yeah. It's the weekend. Where the fuck is he? He's not lurking.
I know, he should be here.
Although there are a few people lurking.
Where's Tanya Sharma?
No, we have not seen Tanya in a while. She posted a couple things on Facebook a few days ago. That was it.
Yeah, I'd like to see her. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, but it seems the more we encourage her to get on a show, the more she finds it.
Yeah.
I just think she doesn't have the technical means to do it, in any quality way. Go ahead, Zach.
By the way, where the fuck is Dawn? We have business to discuss.
Right?
We have business to discuss.
We got Damon Blaze in the chat. Welcome in. Says it's snowing like hell wherever he is.
That's probably what's causing these tornadoes is the cold air front hitting the The warm air.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly. That's classic tornado formation weather.
Yep. And then hopefully that'll change in about a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah. It takes time for all those systems to finally switch.
Yeah. Kind of fighting each other.
Damon is in northern Wisconsin. Okay, yeah. So that's par for the course up there. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Not Green Bay, I don't. I never made it up to Green Bay.
Near
I was always a Packers fan, but I never made it up that way.
Farthest I made it up Wisconsin was Madison, and that's still southern Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 degrees here right now.
How much? What was it? 10?
It's 10 degrees here right now.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Oh, Damien's way up there. He says he's on Eagle River. He's 2 hours north of Green Bay. That's about as far up as you can go in Wisconsin, I think.
So, Zach, did you get snow? Yeah, we did too. We got about 3 inches, I think. Everything is all ice right now. And tomorrow we have a high of 36. That'll be the high.
I'm so high.
We're going to get high, but then you get high. Go ahead, Zach.
15 minutes away from me, got a foot last night.
Wow. No. Are you near ski country in Colorado?
Telluride is about 90 minutes away, and it's a ski resort.
Okay, cool. Telluride looks like a cool place. I think it's an old mining town originally. But anyway.
In the bowl.
Fire in the goat. Sadly, he doesn't work anymore. He's retired.
Go ahead, Zach.
Oprah and Tom Cruise have houses in Telluride.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of millionaires in that area.
We have that here too. We have a lot of millionaires and celebrities up here. Robert Redford for one.
I used to live really close to Kevin Costner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the town that I lived in my teen years, where I graduated high school, was one town south of Lake Erie, and Kevin Costner built a house on the lakefront in the next town north. But Kevin is a rabid fan of baseball. So he used to come to my town to watch the city league games at the big city park. You know, Pony League and Little League baseball games. He was all into it. He'd be sitting in the bleachers just watching some random teams play. It was pretty cool. You know, if he happened to be, you know, alone and didn't have company with you, he didn't mind if you walked up and asked for his autograph or something like that. Yeah, he built a beautiful house on Lake Erie. Probably about $1 million home, given the property that he had. Maybe $2 million.
That's cool.
Gorgeous, yeah. Don't know if he still owns it, but yeah, he was around for quite a while in the 90s.
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of people come out of pretty obscure places like Utah. You remember the show Night Court?
Yep.
Okay. The guy that played Bull, the court bailiff, he's from here.
Cool.
There's quite a few people came out of here. Osmond came from here. The Osmonds, Robert Redford. A lot of people.
That town I lived in, where I went to high school, they actually produced a lot of Olympic athletes. Gold medal winners too in their field.
And speaking of the Osmonds, then they went to Branson, Missouri, and set up kind of a mini version of Nashville.
Cool.
Started music recording stuff. Big country music center down there that was started by the Osmonds in Branson, Missouri, in the Ozarks.
I think I've heard of it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going to Branson sometime. Go ahead, Zach.
Well, hey, family, I'm hopping down. Have a great night, and I love you all.
Oh, well. Good night, brother.
Love you too, Zach.
Yeah,
But
rock on,
Catch you
bro.
later, brother.
Not in a good way.
Thanks for coming up, man. Hanging out with us.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step down too. It's at 12 o'clock.
You're out of power.
Well, I need to stick to my budget.
Okay.
Yeah. And we didn't have any sun today, so I had to run an extra cycle during the day. So, yeah.
I'll keep it going until I run out of alcohol. So,
Rock on, man. All right, Jim Well, Patriots, and I will see you tomorrow.
See you, Will. Isn't that a weapon called the Sea Whiz?
yes. Close-in weapon system.
Yeah.
It's that Phalanx Gatling gun with the radar dome on top that they put on the Navy ships.
Yeah.
They have
Lightning swivel.
Yep.
As soon as it spots an enemy or something that poses a threat, it's like right on it, like within a split second.
Yep. They move very, very fast.
Kind of reminds me of R2-D2 or something.
I have a meme. I've shown it before I'm not going to go digging for it now, but it's this 3-panel meme, and it shows R2D2 on one panel and says, "Hey baby, want to Netflix and chill?" And the second panel has an A10 Warthog that says, "Sure, I'll be right over." And then the third panel shows a Sea Whiz that says 9 months later.
That's pretty funny.
Now they have a land-based version that they call the Sea Ram, and they deploy that like over in Afghanistan and Iraq, or did, and that thing's badass too.
And it is equipped with night vision. Both of them are. But not just, it's not just night vision. It's thermal imaging, and it runs all night long. They actually sell a version of it that's non-weaponized, where it can spot threats.
Yeah, just a surveillance tool.
Yep, but it has that lightning fast movement too.
Now, the naval version does not have this, but the land-based version, the ammunition that they use is self-detonating. So once it goes and once the bullet leaves, the cannon and flies a certain distance, it automatically detonates, so that you don't have live rounds crashing, into people's houses and shit. And they detonate backwards in the stream. But if you catch a video of these guns firing, it looks like fucking Star Wars laser shit going on in the sky. You see the rounds shooting out because they're tracers, and then they go so far, and then they blow up in a backward motion throughout the whole stream of tracers. It looks cool as hell.
Kind of makes what you're describing sounds like a Vulcan.
Yeah, it's a 6-barrel Vulcan.
Yeah.
I don't know what they fire. It might be 20 millimeter rounds or something. But the Navy version doesn't have to worry about using those self-exploding rounds because they're just shooting over water and they ain't got to worry about it.
Vietnam era, it was 20 millimeter.
Yeah. These might be 7.62. Well, I don't know. I think they might still be 20 millimeter because they have to take down aircraft and missiles. So
they got the 20 millimeter actually off of some other kind of a gun, probably out of a B-52 or some aircraft, and they got them for their fire bases in Vietnam. So they would just light up the jungle with them. And when you hear it, it sounds like an A-10. I mean, it's just a big giant fart.
Are you talking like the small ground squad size weapons?
The Vulcan.
Yeah. I think those fired 7.62.
No. These are for guarding fire bases.
Nah, okay. Because I know the ones that they have mounted on Humvees nowadays, they're all 7.62.
Yeah. They weren't in Vietnam. They were actually designed for air defense and aircraft. And I think they were 20 millimeter. And they're Vulcans. They were on aircraft.
Yeah, one of the original spooky designated planes before they had the AC-130 gunships. They converted C-47 transports into the original, spooky Puff the Magic Dragon plane, and it had two 20 millimeter Vulcans out the left side of the aircraft.
That's what it was.
Yep, they use it in
and they got it on the fire bases, and they would try to get 4 of them so they could mount one on each corner.
Yep.
Yeah. And they just mow the jungle down.
Yep. Create a fire zone.
Yeah. Well, the Viet Cong would always attack the bases at night.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in with a lot of Russian and Chinese made stuff. So, probably not rocket propelled grenades. They had them, but I think what they had was
The
had a lot
rocket
of-
trucks, the Katushkas.
They had that too, but they had grenade launchers on their SKSs.
Yeah. Under barrel like a 203.
And there was more SKSs in Vietnam than there was AKs.
I believe it. Yeah.
Chinese SKSs. Those guys that I knew that were there, that that I talked to, they said they would drop their M16 or run it over with a truck and just use an SKS because the Viet Cong couldn't tell if it was a friend or foe if they used an SKS instead of a M16.
Yep.
So a lot of them didn't like their M16s anyway. And you watch these Viet Cong drop them down in a rice paddy and get all covered in mud. And as soon as the Hueys fly over, they pick it up out of the mud and start shooting at the choppers.
Well, it's the same thing when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. A lot of guys were picking up, dropped AKs and using them. And a lot of them got in trouble because, friendly troops heard, the AK makes a distinctive noise completely different than the M16. And they would hear an AK and they'd start opening up on it. And, you'd have, blue on blue, casualties.
Yep.
But then, like over in Afghanistan, a lot of our special operations guys, they, would only use AKs.
I know.
They were issued AKs.
Yep. Or
Because,
anything that didn't sound like an M4.
Yeah.
It just, the main thing was they got used to the sound of the M4 and knew it was an American.
Yeah, and if they're using it, on an extended, recon mission or something, and they're taking out targets, they just, strip the bodies for extra ammunition, so that they didn't have to worry about running out of U.S. ammunition.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Some of those Afghanis had like old Enfields and stuff. And, and this is where they started realizing, hey, wait a second, they're using Grandpa's old rifle and they're picking us off and they're almost hitting us and everything. They didn't have any optics on them either. They were just things like a Mosin Nagant or whatever, and they would pin them down. One guy behind a rock would just pin down a whole squad, and they're like, "This is fucked." So they started doing the DMRs.
Yeah.
Which started out with the M14s. They started just bringing wood stock old M14s, and then they graduated onto a lot more tactical stuff after that.
All those were built at that Navy base I was talking about the other night in Indiana. That's where they converted all those at.
This was the leader of the SOCOM. The SOCOM built for Afghanistan, from what I understand.
Well, then they DMRs for a while, when they started really getting into the M4 platform, they kind of went back and they did what they call the SR-25, and that was basically going back to the original Armalite, but it was 7.62.
Right.
And it was, it wasn't a carbine. It was a, full-size battle rifle. I think it had like a 24-inch barrel on it.
Yep.
Those are nice guns.
Yeah, I saw them too. But all I could do is watch Funker Tactical.
Dude, I saw a video on there that popped up tonight that made me cringe.
Oh, really?
Someone posted a video that was shot quite a few years back at the start of the Syrian civil war, and it shows one guy with the Syrian government army. He's got it like one of those PSK squad machine guns,
Yeah.
and he takes out an entire squad of the Syrian Free Army rebels that are crossing a field. It's like shooting, snakes in a barrel. Like these guys, the rebels, had no chance whatsoever, and they're just like walking and stumbling through this field, and they get hit and they fall down, and they're squirming around on the ground for a couple minutes, and they finally say, "Fuck it, I'm ready to die." So they just stand up and wait for the fucking machine gunner to pop them again. It was like whoever led that fucking squad was a piss poor leader of men. Yeah, one machine, and he wasn't even firing his machine gun like full auto. He was just picking people off.
So he was in semi-auto mode.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, the M60 also had semi-auto mode. The M60.
I have no experience with it. Never seen one in person. Never handled one.
It had a select fire capability.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Now I've handled a saw, the M240. That was fun.
I was trained on the M60. I could take it apart blindfolded within a minute and put it back together within a minute. Had to be able to do it in the dark. Complete darkness.
Yep.
How to do a barrel change and all that stuff.
I can do a complete darkness tear down and change of parts and reassembly of my Glock in about 8 seconds.
On an AR?
No, my Glock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I haven't timed myself with the AR.
Well, the MG44 and the MG
German. Yeah.
Yeah,
That thing was a beast.
that's what our M60 light
Was
machine
based.
gun was based on it.
Yeah.
You can look at that and look at an M60, and if you've ever operated an M60, you could operate that. It just takes a few. There's a few little details that you have to learn, like the barrel change is like really easy. You could do it from the prone position.
Mm.
So, not on the M60, you could actually do a barrel change, but you got to turn shit, and it can be done. It's not as easy as the MG44. And the MG44 actually had a slower rate of fire than its predecessor.
Mm-hmm. MG42. Yeah.
No, the MG32, I think it was, or MG36. I can't remember. But that one was so fast they would just burn through ammo just too quick.
Yeah.
Kind of defeated its purpose. So they went back to the drawing board and built the MG44, and that was a whole lot of badass right there. It was called Hitler's Buzzsaw.
Yeah. Now, did you ever get to play around with an M1913?
No.
Those are the Browning 30 caliber machine guns that were usually water cooled.
No, that's way before my time.
I'm pretty sure that we still got some of those sitting around ready to go if we need them.
I've seen them at the Browning Armory. I've seen all the Browning water-cooled ones at the Browning Armory.
Where's that located?
Ogden, Utah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've been to that armory many times. Seen that. I've seen everything Browning made, including the 50 BMG, the first Ma Deuce that was ever built. All that stuff is there. It's an amazing museum. I don't know if it's still still open to the public or not. I don't know. Because I went there the last time I went there, I couldn't get in, and there was no signs, and it looked like it was empty inside.
Mm. Well, yeah, that would make sense because a lot of that stuff is now made by FN in Belgium.
Now, the Browning factory in Morgan, Utah, the original John Browning factory, actually has a flagpole flying the flag of Belgium out in front, and no American flag there.
That's fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Damn. That's against the law. Unless it's considered sovereign, property owned by, the Belgian government, like an embassy would be.
I saw no American flags. I went inside even. They
I'd
have
pitch a bitch.
They had a lot of stuff. Well, I actually have a guy by the last name of Browning that's my next door neighbor. And he's related to John Browning. I think John Browning and his great-great-grandfather were brothers. So John Browning would have been like his uncle or something.
Was Browning a Mormon?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. A lot of firearms innovations and munitions manufacturing companies are based here. This is we've got like 5 different companies that make silencers.
Yep.
I think Silencer Co. itself is here. I think.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at.
We've got about 5 of them. So I Googled it. And it showed 5 different silencer companies that that are authorized to build silencers. So and they're the ones that there's one, I think it's called Desert Ops, and they build some of the cream of the crop silencers. I think it's called Desert Ops or something like that. Yeah, I think this is the same company that builds sniper rifles. So we have a avid long-range shooter society here that are big time into, extreme long-range shooting. And you can go there and compete. If you lived here, you could go there and compete with them. And they have different classes. You could use a certain number of cartridges, and they have the 1,000 yard milk jug challenge. And if you nail a milk jug, you win a prize or something, like a T-shirt or something.
Yeah, we don't have many long range facilities here in Ohio because there's so much population.
No, we started it. We were the first state to have anything like it. Now, I know they're up in Montana.
Yep. I was just going to say.
Montana's got some big-time long-range shooters up there. They experiment with stuff that's not actually, how could I put it? Things that are very unconventional.
Yeah. What's that one caliber rifle that you were talking about a year or so ago?
416 ShayTac. 416 ShayTac or the 406 ShayTac.
Yeah. ShayTac. Yeah, those things are badass looking.
Well, they are on par with the 50 BMG. And their range is actually, there's less arc in the bullet. They're flatter shooting than a 50 BMG. They don't have quite the bullet weight that a 50 does, but there's enough bullet weight there to be just fine. I mean, you could take out hard targets with it real easy.
Yeah. Anti-material.
Anti-material, yep.
Now, have you seen there's a Canadian manufacturer that has a semi-auto 50 caliber bullpup rifle? It's called the Lynx. That
I've
thing
heard
is
of it.
fucking badass.
I've heard of it. Well, if you want to go big, if you want to run with the big boys like Alex Jones and all them, because he's a 50 BMG guy, because Texas, they're into it too.
Yeah.
They're into long range and big guns. Well, there's a company in Florida. It's called Safety Harbor, and they build 50 BMG uppers that use the trigger mechanism from an AR-15.
So can they be attached to an AR-15 lower? Is that
Exactly.
what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's the first I've heard of a 50 BMG used in an AR platform. For years, you've been able to get the 50 Beowulf in
You're
an
not
AR configuration.
You're not using the extractor or anything off the AR-15, or what am I saying? The only thing you're using is the trigger mechanism, the hook part of it, and everything.
Oh, okay.
That's all you're using on the lower.
Gotcha. Okay.
So everything else, and then they also make an upper that's a single shot, which is the main one they do sell. So you got to pull it back just like a bolt action. Yep.
Yeah.
And they've got another one that's a breech load that you just, you're just using the trigger mechanism on the AR. That's all.
I don't know, man. I still want a Lati. I want to finish Lati.
Well, I would love to have a finished Lati. More than I can ever say.
Yeah, there are so many targets that I would like to aim that Lati at.
Yeah.
Oh,
but there's a lot of stuff out there that are they're not really something you would carry around in the mountains or over terrain or anything, that are kind of what you would call an emplacement gun.
mm-hmm.
So anything within a mile, you can destroy it. And that would include a 50.
Yeah.
Because a 50 will easily take out a 1 mile shot and destroy whatever that is.
My only experience with 50, I fired a Barrett M82A1, the base model, years ago when I was in Boy Scouts. I fired 3 rounds out of it, and then I said, nope, that's enough. My shoulder can't take that.
Well, if it's an emplacement gun, you don't want to mount something like a Barrett on a bipod. If you can use a tripod, that's a heavy duty tripod.
Yeah,
that's how you shoot a 50.
Yeah, we weren't even using the bipod. We were just shooting prone on sandbags. And
ow,
I want to say the targets were 400 yards and 600 yards. And we had to close half the camp down when this rifle was on the range because we were shooting basically across the camp. So they had camp staff posted along the road and everything so people wouldn't be driving across it. And only the people that got the rifleman merit badge were allowed to shoot this rifle. And everybody got, I think they were letting everybody fire, 5 rounds, the full mag capacity. And I'm like, 3 rounds, that was enough for me, man.
Well,
Felt like I got punched in the shoulder.
in the
by
prone
King Kong.
position, in the prone position, you're down low on the ground, and it will kick up a lot of sand and rock.
Oh yeah, that muzzle blast was insane.
Yeah, even with the nicest,
After a couple of shots, it was lighting the grass on fire.
right? 50 is
What's up,
not
Aaron?
50 ain't something that you want to be in the prone position.
That's like when I went to Wizards this year for 4th of July. I brought that 7mm Remington Magnum I have, and I had never shot it before. We're sitting at his little range that he had set up, and I was just shooting it off of with the sling at a picnic table, and I put like 4 rounds to that. I'm like, that's enough of that. That thing has
Amp
a
it up
kick.
a little bit and try shooting a 300 Win Mag. That's what
I hear the 300 is slightly more powerful than the 7mm.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little.
That's what I hear secondhand. So who knows?
Yeah, you put the cartridges side by side, and you'll know that the 300 has got a lot more ass to it. So, yeah, and actually, the 7 is a great performing cartridge. A lot of hunters around here use 7mm.
That it's a Western gun.
Yeah,
you can't. It's not very big around here. I bought mine, the 7, off of a buddy of mine. He only wanted $500 for it. It's a Weatherby Vanguard.
That's a higher count. That's more powerful than a 300 Win Mag. The 300 Weatherby cartridge, it's more powerful.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but the Weatherby's, it's a Japanese-made gun under the Weatherby name. It's fucking gorgeous. The thing is spotless, and it's got a really nice scope on it. I've got it ranged out, throughout the whole neighborhood for about 800 yards.
See, that's the type of rifle. For one, you're not going to be able to run a lot of rounds through it before the barrel gets shot out. So 300 Win Mag, same story.
Yeah, this thing looked like just a safe queen. When I, took it home after I bought it, I ran a bore scope through it and checked it out. The barrel's fucking mint. The guy that my friend bought it off of must have, shot it once or twice and put it in the safe.
Yeah, that's what my stepdad had.
And the only reason that I bought it was because I knew that the 7 Rem Mag had a great reputation for flat, trajectory shooting.
Right.
That's the only reason I dropped out and bought it.
For hard targets, the heavier the bullet weight, the better it works on a hard target.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the ammo that I have for it is high grain loads.
But also, the heavier the bullet weight, also the more recoil you get.
True.
So everything's like a trade-off.
All the ammo that I have for that thing, I bought more than like 2 years ago, before the shortages started. You try to buy 7 Rem Mag now, if you can find it online, it's going to cost anywhere from $45 for a box of 20 to up to $120.
Yep, just like 300 Win Mag.
Yep.
So the 300 Win Mag is just, I got a little ammo for it, and it's just, it's something that I'll pull out when I absolutely need to take care of business.
This just came today for me.
Oh.
I got this for a buddy of mine. He asked me to find some for him. He must have bought a new gun, a new old gun, because I don't think they make guns in 222 anymore. It's kind of a relic.
Let's see what the bullet looks like. Is it
Oh,
bottom?
they're ballistic tipped, green tip.
Oh, that's a hell of a little bullet there, man.
It's just a tiny bit smaller than a 223.
Right.
This was the original cartridge that the 223 was based on.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s. Yeah. My buddy texted me last week. He's like, I need you to find me some ammo. I'm like, okay, what are you looking for? He's like, 222 triple deuce Remington. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of like an oddball caliber. He's like, yeah, let me know what you find out. Give me a call later tonight. So I'm like, well, I can look it up right now. Give me a second. I fired up, my search site for the ammo. There's only 3 places online that were selling it. And the cheapest 50 round box after shipping was like $82. He's like, I want it. Give it to me. So I got it, and it showed up today. And when I was at work, just for the fun of it, I went online to look for it again. And someone was selling 20 round boxes of Privy Partisan 222 for like $22. He should have waited a week.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's probably a lower velocity than 223, though. That's what I'm thinking.
Slightly.
Yeah. Probably.
I looked into it. They say it's still, widely considered a very good varmint rifle. That's about all I'd use it for.
Yeah.
Like coyotes and shit.
You ever seen a 22-250?
I would love to have one of those.
Yeah, or a 25-06.
There's only a couple more bolt action rifles that I would like to get if I had the money. One would be the 22-250, and then the other I'd like to have a 35 wheel in.
Yeah, I'd actually, if it was plausible, I love 25-06. You're talking a 25 caliber. It's right on par with a 243, but chambered in a 30-06 shell.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
So it's
30-06 is just too. I fired one of those a few times. That was too much for me.
So it's a 30-06 shell necked down to a 25 caliber. That's a 25-06. Yeah,
that's gonna have a kick.
Well, I don't know, but it's and in fact, you're gonna have more kick the more necked down your cartridges are. So that's why I like 8mm, because they're not bottlenecked so much. They really don't kick bad, but you got this one big ass heavy freaking, projectile flying out of there. 8mm Mauser is wonderful caliber. It's not flat shooting though. 30-06 is a lot flatter shooting, but if you're talking about taking out a hard target, 198 grain bullet versus about 160 grain. On
some of the 308 ammo I got is close to that bullet weight. They're massive.
And I could get actually in 8mm Mauser, I could actually shoot up to about 250 grain bullets, which is right.
My 7 Rem mag, I got rounds for that are 185 grains.
Yeah,
that's a lot of weight.
Well, 198 is pretty much the standard military bullet weight for Mauser. It was 198 grain. So I got all this old Iranian ammo that's on stripper clips and bandoliers.
Nice.
And you just feed those stripper clips and just reload that 25-gallon that 25 round floor plate, I get 24 rounds of absolute destruction. Absolute destruction.
Now, I tell you, you're talking about the smaller calibers. I absolutely love that 243 Winchester that I bought.
Oh man, I'm jealous actually.
It's a Savage.
Yeah.
It's their product line. They call it the Axis rifle line.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a beginner's package. It's not like souped up or anything. It's not match grade or anything. Very affordable. You can get. They offer like 12 different calibers, and they're all priced between like $200 and $300. I bought mine in 243 2 years ago, and it's got a synthetic stock in the camo pattern that my entire hunting outfit is. It's the same pattern, so I match my rifle. And that thing, you can shoot that thing all day. It does not have a lot of recoil. It's got a really nice buffer pad system in the backside of it. I love that thing.
243, you could make some 1,000-yard shots with.
And the sad thing is, the only thing that I can legally use it for here in Ohio is coyotes. I can't hunt deer with it.
Perfect for coyotes.
Yep. That's
And
why I bought it. That's my yoke gun.
It's better for coyotes than just about anything else out there.
Now, Carpenter, he loves to hunt deer with his 243, but in Ohio, we can't shoot bottleneck cartridges for deer. You can use straight wall cartridges. The only rifle that I have that I can hunt deer with legally in Ohio is that Marlin 45 carbine.
4570 government?
No, 45 ACP.
Oh, okay.
It takes 1911 magazines.
Yeah.
It looks like a Ruger 1022 on steroids.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Didn't you say you got a 10 millimeter?
That's my Glock. Yeah.
Okay.
If I were to get an aftermarket extended barrel on that Glock, I could use that for handgun hunting for deer in Ohio. That's illegal.
Well, if you could get that Keltec, that folding carbine.
Yeah, I know.
Chambered in 10 millimeter, man, or
I want a Chris 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
But that would look awfully shady walking around in the woods if you come across like a conservation officer. What the hell is that?
I want a golden toilet too.
Oh.
Have to wait. I would love to. Well, I don't know. Chris, they're good. I have no.
I've never even held one. I've only seen them on the rack at the store and pictures online. It's an interesting. It's a completely revolutionary operating system for a gun.
I rented one. At a gun range. They're cool. They eject straight down.
Yep.
And the recoil is, there's like no recoil to them the way they're designed.
Yeah, 10 millimeter. Even with my pistol, okay. My Glock, it's one of the subcompact baby Glocks from the late 90s, early 2000s. It's a generation 2.5. And
I shot the 40 caliber. The 40 caliber.
Very similar, slightly lower power.
Yeah.
I could shoot 40 caliber Smith & Wesson through my 10 millimeter safely. It's a weird thing that has to do with the Glocks and the way they were designed. You can shoot a 40 through a 10 millimeter Glock, but it'll erode the throat of the barrel like twice as fast. as if you were shooting regular 10.
More velocity.
But yeah. Well, it has to do with the length of the cartridge, because basically the 40 caliber is a shortened version of the 10 millimeter as far as length goes. So you have less space of the bullet taking place in the chamber, and a little bit of extra gas gets released backwards and causes erosion around the throat. I wouldn't want to try it with mine. I love mine just the way it is.
Now here's the deal. Here's the deal on AKs. So AKs, all the AKs that are made in the Eastern Bloc, all have this Bulgarian cold rolled, this cold forged steel with and they're all lined barrels. And then you come here to the U.S. and you buy a U.S. made AK, great shooting rifle and everything, but you're not going to get barrel life out of it because the barrels are not made out of that cold forged. So that's the difference. So if you're looking at AKs and people out there wanting to buy those really cool looking PSA AKs and stuff like,
Yeah.
if you could get an Eastern Bloc one that's got a Bulgarian barrel, you're better off. Just because of the durability, you're going to get more barrel life out of it.
I'd rather have an SKS than an AK.
Because SKS is neither the Chinese ones or the Yugoslavian ones or the Russian ones. None of them have a lined barrel. What is it? A boron or boron lined barrel, whatever. None of them have that lined barrel. So that's something to look at, because if you're running that dirty com block ammo,
oh yeah, you got to use
you're
non-corrosive
going to get
ammo.
rust and pitting and stuff in most of your SKSs till you get up to the AKs, and then you're not going to have all these corrosion issues. So
I'm
the AK,
really not into Russian guns. You know, I the only AK that I've ever tried out was Wizards at 4th of July party. I wasn't impressed with it.
but his wasn't an actual AK. His is a checkmate, one of those checkmate with the open bolt, no dust cover. His doesn't have a dust cover.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah. Come to think of it, it did not have a dust cover.
No. That slide comes back, ejects around, and
You get
slams.
a lot of gas in your face when you fire that thing.
Yeah, they're actually very reliable and super accurate. As far as now, the only issue that you're probably having on your accuracy, it's not so much the barrel and the rifle's not accurate. It's just the damn com block sights their sight radius is too short.
Yeah.
It's like shooting a pistol almost. The sight radius is just way too short.
Yeah.
So there's a remedy for that, and that's just getting a rear peep sight at the back of. You run a Picatinny rail down the top, and I don't know how you would do it with his, because he doesn't have a dust cover. But if you have a regular AK, you got a dust cover. You could get dust covers that have a Picatinny rail, and you could put a rear peep sight. And so you're gonna have about the same accuracy as an AR-15.
Or you could be
got the
like
long
just
sight
total.
radius.
You could be like total white trash, and drill and set in a pick rail along the top of the receiver.
Some people do that. They'll even pop rivet them. They're so lame.
Looks like garbage, but it gets the job done, I suppose.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. The Russian stuff is the best. Russian and Polish. In the AK world, they're the two top of the line.
Yeah.
In fact, I like the Polish better because the finish is a lot nicer on the Polish. I mean, they take the time and I mean, there's no grind marks or anything like that. They're just a real clean looking weapon and function flawlessly.
You ever handle a Dragunov?
No, I handled the Romanian version of it, which is a true Dragunov.
Yeah. I always thought those things looked fucking awesome.
They are awesome. I
But
would even
ammo
love them.
for them is very hard to find and very expensive.
7.62 by 54.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Yeah, it's about 200% above market value
right now.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of the sanctions that Biden is hating on him because Biden owes Ukraine all these favors and stuff.
Well, the funny thing is a lot of those sanctions are not being applied in certain places. You can still get pre-sanctioned prices on regular AK ammo. It's Russian steel cased, but yeah, you can still get decent prices on it.
That's actually what runs good in an AK, steel case. Brass ammo doesn't run good.
Yeah, they designed the AK so that some illiterate farmer peasant could operate it, take it apart and clean it and shoot it. Didn't have to be difficult. It was built to be drugged through the mud, banged up, and still work.
It was tested by Kalashnikov to be able to operate in Arctic and desert conditions.
Yep.
Any kind of conditions. Sand, ice, snow, everything. And it was based on the Sturmgewehr. Kalashnikov got his ideas from the Sturmgewehr, the Germans.
The STG-44?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Have you seen those Sturmgewehrs that they're reproducing now in 22? They look fun as hell. You can get them for like $400.
Yeah, company call. Well, are the ones chambered in 22? Okay, yeah. Oh, they just have that asshole profile to them. Yeah. If that's what you're looking for, there's a company making Sturmgewehrs that are chambered in 7.62 by 39 among the original 8mm Kurtz, 7.62 by 39,
yep,
and a few other calibers. And the company's called Hill and Mac.
Yep, I've heard of them.
Yep. Fan of them. I actually dig them.
What about those PSKs, the Pushkas, with the drum magazine?
Oh, yeah.
Someone, Classic Firearms, a couple years ago came across like a truckload full of them, on pallets, and they were selling them as on their what do they call that? The antique, and it's a different classification. With the ATF, they call them antique weapons and something else. Like you actually don't need to go through an FFL to get them.
Curio and Relic.
Curio, yeah, Curio license. Yeah, they had I think they had like 1,200 of them come in, and they sold out in like 10 hours.
Yeah, well, when your life has to depend on your weapon, and you want to know for a fact it's gonna punch big, fat, nasty holes in whatever you're shooting, and you want reliability, I would go with an AK. But
I like my AR.
That's fine.
It's all built in America. I'm actually looking to buy parts to start making some more of them.
Yeah. Well,
because the market prices right now for certain parts are dirt cheap.
I actually am of the mindset that they're overly engineered, kind of like an Audi. You know, they're great, and there's a lot of cool things about them. And you know, I'm gonna say some cool things. One is they're made in America, and the other thing is they have a buffer spring that absorbs recoil. So why is that important? So that you can get quicker follow-up shots.
Yep, and more accurate in general.
No, not necessarily, but you know, if you're doing a lot of fast follow-up shots, an AK is not going to do the job.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll get ammo downrange, but
because when I was trying out Wizards AK, yeah, the muzzle rise was like 6 inches at least. Follow up with that is kind of hard.
Right. But, you know, if it's just you against the world and you may not be able to get access to parts and things like that, I'd go with an AK because the maintenance is going to be easier.
Yep. Excuse me.
And there's going to be an awful lot of them out there. There's way more AKs than there are AR-15s.
Most of them are buried in little hidey holes all across the country.
Well, yeah, I like AKs. I kind of like ARs. I kind of don't. And I like SKSs. I love the reliability. They are more accurate. I was going to get to, this is what I was going to try to say. So the rifling in an AR, or not in an AR, in an SKS, is a sharper rifling than it is in an AK. And a slightly longer barrel, so what you're going to get is better accuracy and longer range. You'll get more range out of an SKS than you will out of an AK. So, yeah, and then if you want to go with detachable magazines, you're talking those big-ass duckbill magazines on an SKS.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go with an AK just because, but on the other hand, I mean, feeding stripper clips in an SKS, you could be pretty fast at it. It's a 10-round stripper clip. You just, that bolt, when the bolt's open, you just mash it down and you're ready to rock and roll again. So the reloads are pretty fast, but they're 10 round reloads. So you're pretty much stuck with 10 rounds and then reload. But an SKS is going to give you better accuracy. And you could pretty much, if you could figure out how to put some good optics on it, you could probably get a lot more accuracy out of it with good optics. Those are all things to think about on an SKS.
Now, do you see what I'm sharing on the screen right now?
Yep.
That's my AR.
There you go.
Reloading is not much of an issue. I have a 100-round drum for it.
I've got a 70.
I got lots of 30-round mags too, but yeah, I do have the original, not one of those cheap ones that you can find for like $100, Farm and Fleet. This is the actual original 100-round mag that the military buys.
Yeah.
It's got a nice 3-power red dot on it that has a laser.
Uh-huh.
And, the only thing is it's heavy because it's got a lot of metal fore-end parts.
Right.
Yeah, so it ain't the latest thing.
So that's kind of a DMR.
It's a 16-inch barrel.
Yeah,
I
so
would love to find a 20-inch barrel for it. You can't find 20-inch barrels to save your life right now.
yeah. No, that's a DMR. That's a designated marksman's rifle. You know, like you nestle down and you hold down fire like a DMR. You know, you're going to be in the prone position. You're going to hold down fire and keep their heads down. That's what that's for, right there. And then you can use it as a regular handheld combat rifle as well.
That's my 308.
Oh yeah, ATN scope.
Yep.
Night vision.
I still haven't fired it. It's virgin.
Well, I hope you and I stay on the same side then.
Yeah.
I like it. I
It's
like
another
the
Savage.
I like the adjustable stock and everything too.
I actually got that done. I paid brand new. I bought it through Cabela's. I got it for about $500.
Now, see, there's something else you could do with that if you really wanted to make it like uber badass. Is get the weighted grip where you can adjust the weights on your grip. It'll help with
the grip that I have. It's hollow on the bottom. It's hollow and it has a hole. Excuse me, in the bottom. I could add weights to it if I wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's going to help you to stay on zero.
Yep.
You'll stay on zero better because you've got a counterweight that's absorbing the recoil and stuff.
Well, I need a suppressor for it. That's one of the things on my list. So.
Well, go get your barrel threaded first.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's got a cap on it.
A barrel nut.
Yep.
So
yeah,
it's threaded.
$500 because I had like $400 in gift cards from Cabela's. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to get a sniper rifle.
Threaded. It looks like a medium duty barrel. Am I right?
I guess you can consider it. Yeah, it's not a heavy barrel.
It's not a heavy barrel. It's a medium.
Yeah, there's this particular model. They tried to market it as a lightweight, beginner gun into long range, heavy caliber shooting. So they try to keep it as light as possible.
And it's a floated barrel.
Floated, yeah, free floating.
So that's going to help with all your barrel harmonics and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. That'll work. I want you to be on the same side as me. Yeah, you probably could say the same thing.
Hell yeah.
Now she has the urge to go to the range, Nightingale says.
That's always a good urge.
Yeah. Let's go, Nightingale. I don't like to go to a range. I actually got me a steel dinger target. I need to build a rack for it so I could take it out to the desert and ping it. Just to, sight stuff in and everything. Get my bearings. And plus I've got a laser bore sighter. So I can bore my rifle. They're not expensive.
Okay,
Got
I
like-
have a bunch of the cartridge shaped laser bore sighters. I don't have like the all-purpose, multiple caliber thing that I think you're talking about. But I got laser bore sighters for 22, 223, 308, and 45.
Yeah, I just got attachments for it. So, but anyway, that's all you do is you just laser bore sight it to whatever range you want. You don't even have to fire it. And then once you stick some ammo in it and start seeing what your ammo is doing, and try different types of ammo and find out what can keep you on target the same as how you bore sighted it. So you're comparing your bore sight with what your ammo is doing, because whatever you bore sighted at is where the ammo should go, where that bullet should go. So if I laser bore sighted it at 200 yards and I put Remington ammo in there and I'm like not on target, something is wrong with the ammo. It's not the fucking rifle. And it'll work on pistols too, my bore sighter. I can do pistols, everything. I've got like 12 different caliber things that it'll work in. So like a 223 will also work in a 22.
Yeah.
Oh, hot cocoa, huh? Nice. What about marshmallows? Are we doing the marshmallows with the hot cocoa too? Maybe she can't hear me. Or she's just typing slow because she's enjoying her cocoa.
Goes good in a cup of hot cocoa.
What?
1 piece of a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah. You know what? I had cocoa last night and I stuck a candy cane in it.
There you go.
That was pretty darn good.
But I like hot cider. Non-alcoholic apple cider served hot.
Yeah.
Always
It's
like that.
You put cinnamon?
No. Because me and cinnamon don't get along well.
Oh, okay.
I get terrible heartburn from cinnamon.
Oh, wow.
Ugh. Well, hey, man, I'm going to have to call it a night here. It's
All right.
a little bit past 2.
Yeah. 5 after 12 here. 6 after.
I need to make something to eat.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hit the fart sack. John Sua, see you there.
Yeah. What's up, John? Sorry you caught us at the end of the show. But it is that time. So everybody in the chat, John, Nightingale, and Eve.
Various lurkers.
Yeah, various lurkers. You know who you are, and so do we. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Bill, thanks for hanging in with me.
Okay. See, I found the lurk column. Did you see it?
I can see it on Twitch.
There's a lurker column.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, well. Alrighty.
We'll see you later, folks. Have a good one. God bless.
Good night.